Ooh, okay, here I am. Great. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. Great, here I am. Hey, Speed! 1 second, man. Just making sure I got everything loaded up here. Okay, cool. Hey, Speed, how are you? Yeah, okay. 1 second, Speed. Just writing something down. Hey, Chris! Anything new, Chris? And Chris, you're like the one that asked me about you're the one that asked me about Doctor Stone the most. But I'm trying to think like back to this. Oh yeah, no, this last week's thing of Doctor Stone. It was really interesting that Ryusui went to go see his brother. That was a legitimate surprise for me. I didn't think it was actually going to be his brother. Hey, White Despair, White Despair. Do you have any war stories from your time on the internet this week? And also, guys, just to ask you questions, what kind of topics would you like covered on Hero Academia, or any other manga or anime? Like ignoring shipping, because shipping happens on my own schedule as I get enough material for it. But yeah, are there any topics you'd like covered? Just let me know. Again, I'm looking for topics and trying to find what exactly is going to be the magic formula for me for the next year. Let's see. And I would love to talk about predictions. I think I I will come up with I'll try and give you guys like my ideas for the chapter. And I'll write down all my ideas too in case I make a video for it. But I would love to discuss with you about what you guys think is going to happen tomorrow when we get the spoilers, or I guess on Thursday, depending on when we get the spoilers. Like I'll give you a full-on routes that I think could happen. Oh yeah, White. One Piece spoilers thoughts. Yo, Speed. Actually, I would love to talk to you about the One Piece spoilers. So I'm happy, right? I'm happy that we got the Jinbei fight. Oh, I haven't made my video for One Piece. Oops. Oh, that's too bad. I forgot all about it with the busy week. But yeah, I'm happy that Frankie got his fight. I'm happy that he got the well, it looks like he got the victory. I'm very happy with what we're seeing there overall. And with Yamato, I'm really I saw the image and I'm really wondering what could it be. I don't know. Hmm. Oh, oops. Anyway, yeah, what are you thinking for Yamato's Zoan? I'm like looking at it now. It looks like it's some kind of dog, right? Like I'm not too sure. I want to say it's a dog, but I feel like that's so basic. Um, yeah, I was thinking maybe a Koma Inu or like some kind of fox beast or something, like a Ninetales or something like that. But it's a beast type. I do feel like maybe it's mythical. I doubt it would be ancient. I think it'd be more similar to Kaido's fruit. Kaido makes the fruit sound rare. I agree. I agree. Do you think it's canine? That's my question. Do.
Here we go.
Okay, VNT. Here we go.
I wouldn't think you can get away.
Alright, let's see. Also this week, the internal people were pretty much discussing how the conflict will go. Most people seem to think that Izuku is about to easily defeat all of Class 1A with zero difficulty. Plus, I feel there were much more interesting types of discussion that could have been happening. Oh, like which ones? What are you hoping to discuss, White Despair? Because I'm sure that me and the rest of the team can probably fill that gap for you. Like for me, I'm interested in talking about all the different possibilities here because I think there's multiple rhetorics occurring, and I think the author can go in any direction he wants, and he has everything built such that he could justify any direction if he just shifts the focus on a particular rhetoric. So like really good spot for him. see.
Brace yourself.
Quirk expansion theories would be good. Okay, quirk expansion. All right, all right.
I must leave no
Oh, once
stone
upon a time,
unturned.
someone had asked me if I could do like a what people would be in the same, what people would work together in the future. But it's like I don't know if they would.
Here we go.
Like people don't really need to be together in an agency. But okay, quirk expansion. I'll think about that. I think it's been like 2 weeks 2 weeks and a half since Izuku left UA to meet in the class again. Maybe 1 week and a half. Oh, okay, Chris. I gotcha. I gotcha. Oh, hey, Ty. Oh, Ty. Buddy guy. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I hope she went peacefully. Yeah, man. My grandmother, she passed away like a few months ago as well. It was pretty rough. I don't know if you guys have been hearing, but Cuba's having like mass protests right now. Like this morning, my phone was like ringing off the thing, just talking about like my family pretty much just telling me like who's involved, who's not. You know, just doing the thing that family does, just to gossip. But yeah, Ty, I feel that, man. I'm sorry. I hope she went down peacefully. Like I won't mince words with you, Ty. Like if someone tells me that their relative went down in a lot of pain, I don't. Yeah, yeah. You know what? My heart goes out to you 100%. And me personally, I hope I don't go down with pain. So I always have a real reaction whenever I hear that. You know, it's always a brutal time. But I hope she went peacefully at the very least. I have again big hangups on just horrible processes when people are passing away. Any Hoosers, Ty. I hope we'll be able to cheer you up. Now I'm gonna make you sad again, and I am sorry, but I didn't have time to read Sugumomo this weekend. It's just so busy on my side right now. But thanks for being here, man. I can only hope that you recover and you don't have any kind of episodes coming out of this. It's hard to tell because it might be one of those weird mythical animals that don't resemble their race. Oh, yeah. Perhaps some about what the nature of upgrade to the UA barrier is. Will Stain actually have an important interaction with Izuku, or will the moment be between Stain and All Might? Okay. It was nice to get some clarification on how long Izuku has been on his own. A few days. Yeah, no, like that few days still doesn't tell me a lot, right? It's a few days plus a few days. That's still not great. Same here. My past a couple months ago too. Luckily, it was peaceful, surrounded by her children. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. When my grandmother passed, like my dad took it hard because my dad wasn't in Cuba at the time, and so my dad was like, it got kind of scary because I thought my dad was I thought, because he wasn't responding, I thought something bad happened to him, because my dad is a really emotional person, so I got really concerned. But for my grandmother, a good portion of her kids were there, but my dad took it like I did not communicate with him for like a full 2 weeks after that, just because of how hard it was to actually reach him. It was quite the episode for us. For Fox News calling Captain America woke. First off, comics are always political. Yeah, right. Like Captain America is pretty much born from World War II era shenanigans, right? Like you don't have the Red Skull as just you don't have the Red Skull as just some random thing that happens in a vacuum. Nah, like comics have always reflected the politics of their time. I think the problem just with this day and age is just like this is sometimes it feels more like this is Twitter politics. It's just like maybe sometimes the problems that they tackle are not the problems that I feel like the majority of people are dealing with. Because I know like the majority of problems like that people in poverty are dealing with, and I know it's like a good chunk is not represented, let's say in American politics. But at the same time, like I saw that conversation recently because of the new Static Shock comic arc, and really like when you look at Static Shock has always been cool. Like Static Shock has always been talking, well, not even politics, it's just been talking about being a good person. Although I know like right now we're living in a time where like it's because of the internet. I think the internet gives people so much more, and that overload of information I think ultimately does more harm than it does good. But that's probably why people complain about it more. It's because the internet is letting people see like the worst examples of everything. I wonder why Endeavor or other pro heroes can't keep up with Izuku. I know Hawks doesn't have his wings at full strength, so he can't keep up with because of that. No, they can 100% keep up with Izuku. Even without his wings, they can keep up with Izuku. Because Izuku's not moving that fast. I doubt it. No, no. Look. I feel that line is really just there to show how beaten up the heroes are. And I really feel that that's just there to make some kind of statement about how the adults can't help Izuku. But that's stupid. That's stupid. Because look, if the kids win here, that rhetoric is going to be really busted. That's a rhetoric just to justify why the adults can't do anything about Izuku right now, right? Because if we look at the situation, there's nothing stopping Bakugo from going up to Endeavor and telling Endeavor the situation, and Endeavor saying like, okay, you kids stay here. We're gonna go deal with it. We're gonna deal with Izuku. We're gonna stop him. But instead, you have the kids going out there. Like really, it's a matter of rhetoric and framing. They could have framed this as the pro heroes going to get Izuku and correcting their mistake. You could have thrown the rhetoric around. You could have moved things around. But like the way that the author is building it, he's building a sentimental kind of thing where he's trying to say like the heroes might be beaten down. When you see Endeavor in the chapter, Endeavor is intended to come off as beaten down. But this makes the entire situation even more weird because it's like if no adult shows up to help the kids catch Izuku, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous on a logical level. But again, mind you, like there's a lot of things happening here because the author is trying to. He had to come up with a reason to justify why the adults aren't going to stop Izuku when they know that Izuku's going to burn himself out. But it's just a combination of so many factors. Yeah, no, like this is just a matter of rhetorics. Like again, the author, as easily as he sent the kids to go get Izuku, he could have set up the reasons differently to have any other thing he wanted work out. Yeah. It's interesting, though. It's interesting. The keep-up line, though, that keep-up line is nonsensical. It's just more sentimental than it is actual reality. In my opinion. But, like, the important thing to also keep in mind here is that the author has to find a way to bring Class A into it. Because if he doesn't, that's going to be pretty bad because those are his friends. So, let's not be envious of the author here. He has a particularly hard task. The good thing is that he had Hawk say out loud that they can't keep up with Izuku. As pathetic as that is. When you have All Might keeping up with him just days before. Like, the entire time, All Might was following him around. Yeah, no, it's nonsensical. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm being a little bit more aggressive there just for, like, the entertainment value. Time seems to pass, and for less than a month's time has passed. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Like, I feel like the 2 weeks is probably reasonable. It's like the few days from the end of March. 2 weeks is probably reasonable. It'd be funny if we were like, it'd be funny if it was only 4 days. That'd be ridiculous. Because, like, it's like, in 4 days, all of society broke apart. I know that a few days isn't. However, I do think it's better than we previously had. We knew that the war was end of March and that Izuku went on his own in April. Nice to get some form of clarification. Fair enough. A few days before we're able to start looking for him, and they may have taken even longer to find him, so a couple of weeks altogether. There's no reason they would have taken long to find him if they have a GPS tracker. The GPS tracker would have invalidated searching for him. If the GPS tracker is good enough such that Best Jeanist and the gang are able to follow Izuku well enough that they can come in and save Izuku when things go wrong, the GPS tracker is precise. They wouldn't have taken long to find him, unless it took actual travel time. Thanks, Trip. It's okay. I've been busy. Also, I saw the Miami, Florida, and we were talking about bombing Cuba. Wait, what? Who's bombing Cuba? What the heck? Miami, Florida. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez said the U.S. should consider bombing Cuba as part of its response to recent citizen in the country against its government. Are you insane? Bombing is one of other options that can be discussed. He also said that he sympathized with Cuban protesters. I've seen the images of them risking their lives protesting. Then Suarez said, I never suggested bombing Cuba. What I've been saying is that for the first time, we see the Cuban people on the streets demanding freedom. I don't understand why it's so controversial now to explore the possibility. Why so many in this country are not willing to publicly condemn the murders of the communist regime is something I cannot understand. No, you don't bomb Cuba. No, you should not bomb Cuba. You want to know why you don't bomb Cuba? It's because if you bomb Cuba, Cuba's going to bomb Florida and the surrounding islands in the Caribbean. Because the surrounding islands in the Caribbean don't have the infrastructure to actually defend themselves. The surrounding islands in the Caribbean, they survive off of the powers of the colonies and the world surrounding them. The reason you don't bomb Cuba is because of collateral damage. This is an issue that's been going on for a very long time when it comes to the idea of bombing Cuba. If you bomb Cuba, Cuba's going to send a bunch of their little speedboats up to Florida, and they're going to bomb the coast sides of Florida, and they're going to take out a lot of people, because that's how Cuba's going to do it. Also, probably the Bahamas, since the Bahamas is a linked U.S. territory. If you bomb Cuba, Cuba retaliates by bombing or sending missiles at everything surrounding them. And then if you bomb Cuba while Russians are there, and if you hit any Russians, you're going to start an issue with the Russians and maybe the Koreans because of Cuba's arms dealings with the Koreans. You don't bomb Cuba. That's insane. You don't bomb Cuba. Like, the reason Cuba is in the position it is because of its proximity to America. If Cuba was not on the same, like, hemispheres as America, this would have been a different situation. But no, you don't bomb Cuba. That's insane. That's an insane person right there. That guy will get people killed. No, you don't bomb Cuba. That's insane. All right. I only know about that because, like, my dad was in the Cuban military, so he told me everything that he told me Cuba's tactics. Anyway. And I saw, Miguel, I saw you're here. Give me a second, I'll get to your stuff. Oh, comment. I'm just playing Genshin. Deku is tired, so he obviously is going full speed. Either. On a happier... Okay, what do you think of the Rick and Morty summer incest baby? I hope we see that incest baby again. I like the episode. I especially like the cannibalistic horses. It's important to remember that the heroes feel it's best to stay away from Izuku as he is both bait and being constantly by his side will alert the public to his connection, as shown right before the Nagant fight. No, I understand that, but the situation has changed. Nedzu says it himself. The situation has changed. They could have just gone in there and collected him. And, like, to that point, yeah, no, the heroes put themselves in the position that we're currently in. And then Miguel saying, regarding your critique in the chapter, I think it's a bit unfair. Okay, when Endeavor said they couldn't keep up with Izuku, it probably meant Izuku pushes too hard to the point that the pros also get tired. Also, in Hawk's defense, he hasn't fully recovered, so he can't go full speed. Yes, to Ox, I should have added that asterisk. That's a really good point, Miguel, and someone else pointed it out here before you showed up. But when it comes to that, like, I don't care if it's unfair or not. I don't care. Like, what did Endeavor say? This is not a time for excuses. Or not, sorry. What did Endeavor say to Bakugo when Bakugo made an excuse about why he couldn't get as fast as Endeavor? Heroes don't make excuses. Heroes have to be able to do everything by themselves. If I'm applying Endeavor's own rhetorics to this, what you're seeing with the pro heroes right now, when Hawk says we can't keep up with Izuku, look, it doesn't matter. You have 8 people on your team. What is stopping them from doing, if they have a GPS on Izuku such that everyone else can track him down, what is stopping them from doing shift system where one of them is with Izuku, just keeping an eye on him, just tagging out? All Might was able to keep up with him just fine before all this went down. No. When you're looking at the situation there, from a narrative perspective, what Horikoshi was doing was setting up the reason why the heroes feel neutered. Now, mind you, if you want to say the heroes are pretty beat up about this entire thing, because when you look at Endeavor, the guy's tired. The guy's 100% tired. If you want to say that they're tired, great, but that's also a failing on them. They're in crisis mode, and instead, like right now, from my perspective, nothing stops the pro heroes from backing up Class A. And mind you, maybe next chapter they are backing up Class A. Nothing stops the pro heroes from going after Izuku. Nothing stops Best Jeanist from showing up and tightening Izuku's clothes to give Bakugo a shot to hit him in the head. Nothing is preventing this situation. No matter if we go into the situation and there are no pro heroes helping Class A, not even one or two, come on. That is ridiculous. Why are you letting children have to deal with this? Just because they're their friends? Friendship doesn't matter in this situation. It's just pure resource management. Izuku's a tactical resource. You take him back. If we're being like the most aggressive we can be about this, what I'm looking at there, and again, it might be unfair, but when it comes to the heroes, they're professionals. They have a responsibility to the situation. They're just taking their beatings right now. They're just licking their wounds. No, they should be doing better. They 100% they should be doing better, especially if they aren't going after Izuku when the situation has changed, as Nezu is saying it. As far as I'm concerned, Nezu, the moment he said to go get Izuku and All Might back, that's it. The team up's off. Those heroes should be now going after Izuku and bringing him back. Heck, if you want to talk like full-on rhetoric here, Nezu talks about how UA is supposed to be protecting Izuku. Sending in more students to go get another student is idiotic if you're saying that it's UA's responsibility to go save Izuku. But again, the point here is this has to happen in this particular way because right now what we're looking at is the idea, like the message that's being sent. And the message right now is Izuku's friends are going to go help him. And that's why everything is going out that particular way. Now, mind you, I'm being very aggressive. And I think like I could probably be a little bit more reasonable about it. But it's also very hot. And I get very angry when it's very hot. But no. Overall, I think there's multiple angles. But at the end of the day, what you're having here is I think Horikoshi needs to create a situation where he can justify why it is that it's Class A going after Izuku. And mind you, this is still dependent on the future because like if the next chapter comes around and we see other heroes have showed up, then this criticism is pretty much a moot point because it's like, oh no, yeah, they were actually very smart about this. And given that the recent chapter was also really smart, you know, I wouldn't be, I feel okay like being open to the idea that the author's going to do something smart here. But for right now, it just looked at this as a rhetoric issue taking over the narrative. If that's, I'm trying to give you like a nice discussion point for you, Miguel, so you can argue against it if you want to. Hey, Jason. Deku wins the fight against the class, then Eraser comes out from behind a statue, shuts Izuku's quirks out, and knocks him out. Also, with the unlock of Fajin, Izuku became way faster. He has grown exponentially faster as expected. So Endeavor underestimated how much Izuku could do. Yeah, that's fair. We haven't really seen much of Izuku's use of Fajin though, and given that Fajin is a charge up based on his own movements, we do kind of have to see how long Izuku could maintain Fajin for extended periods of time. It doesn't take away that we're still seeing Izuku rest though. Like we've seen Izuku rest in the montage, like when he was hiding in the woods to eat a snack. Like Izuku's still resting, like it doesn't really matter. Izuku can just literally jump, activate, float, Air Force out of there. Yes, he could. What do you think the chance of staying helping Izuku's escape is? I think it's non-zero, but I'm not sure like how strong it would be. Lena Gaunt, whatever her name is, and now two-way. Jack Kirby was scout in World War II. He got lots of death message from Nazis because of his Captain America. Okay, unless Deku turned off the phone with GPS, only turned it on at a certain time. So be hard to track him once he left All Might. But given that they had the GPS with them, look, Izuku has no reason to turn off that GPS until after the kids show up. I think it's just likely that Izuku had that GPS on him, and that he's probably going to, if he gets away now, he's probably going to turn off the GPS, which might play into All for One's hands on this one. I also get the feeling that God Ida is about to Yamcha next chapter. Deku gets one good hit, and I imagine him stump against the wall. We'll have to see. Like, there's a few people he should take out first. Do you think that Izuku might get rid of the tracker if he does find? Yes, I do think that would happen. I think that's going to happen, and I think that's going to help him. I think that's going to help all for one. To be fair, even a few days, him being this tired makes sense. Multiple days without sleep will mess a person up. Yes, that hasn't learned from a why bomb when you can remove sanctions and Americanize through trade and diplomacy? Yes. Do you think 100% All Might is faster than 100% Hawks? That's like a Flash versus Superman question. It depends. It depends on All Might's landing time, because like Hawks can go in a straight line for longer. All Might's pretty much jumping. So maybe for the moment that he jumps, All Might's faster, but in a long distance race, maybe Hawks wins. Izuku would probably just rush ahead but I guess is Hawks faster than a speeding bullet? Izuku would probably just rush ahead while the others are sleeping eating, so if they kept following Izuku, they get burned out like he did. Yeah, no, that's why I say shift system. Shift system. Like, from how I'm looking at it, they were doing just fine when it was still All Might. And Izuku was already burnt out by All Might. Like, there are a lot of ways if you want to manage Izuku. They also have GPS trackers. It really doesn't matter how far Izuku gets. Like, they're still going to be relatively nearby. I don't think that's impossible. I think they could still pull it off if they actually used organization tactics. I'm not going to give them that. I'm not giving them that leeway personally. Jason Envy bombs Korea, then China also gets involved. Yes. All Might isn't fighting villains. The guy's just driving a car. Oh yeah. And he can still follow Izuku. Actually, if we're gonna say that Izuku's gonna get away from them while they're sleeping or eating, it's very simple. Just say like, okay, while Izuku does that, he's gonna be held up by the villains. Like, there's still so many ways that you can actually reasonably have the heroes following Izuku around. It's just, it's unreasonable to say they would not. Like, yeah, sure, they can lose Izuku for a few hours, but whatever. They're just going to catch up to him in the same way that All Might caught up to him. Again, that's my opinion on it. I just remember the one thing that was entertaining from here. People were using the chat to try and figure out who the traitor is. I got a good laugh out of them. It's midnight, but none of them were convinced. I saw tons of people saying that Nezu because he's suspicious this chapter. Not sure how he was suspicious. But yeah, no, it's midnight, or it's Shoji, or it's Nejire. Imagine while they're fighting, Izuku starts muttering to himself about each class member's quirk and just counter them one by one. He probably thought of ways like Batman to take them down. Actually, I think so. I think that if we don't see that, I'd be very surprised. Trip, remember, Shonen is a team. Also, Tsunade sent Genin to the Sasuke retrieval mission. Yeah, that's a good point, Miguel. It is teenage fantasy. But Tsunade... Yeah, she sent Genin, but Genin are also already, like, when you're a Genin, you're officially a ninja assassin. So I don't really mind. And she sent one of them who was a Chunin. So you had a Chunin and a squad of Genin, one of which was a genius, and the other one was a tracking specialist. Yeah, nah, I don't really care. Like, Naruto child soldiers, like, she sent out child soldiers and one super effective child soldier. But yeah, no, good point. So the believe in the kids trope is pretty common. I agree with you on that one, Miguel. Slouching in the corner, whatever that's supposed to prove. So, oh wait. Some say Aoyama because he was slouching in the corner. The best one was a joke about how Toru was suspicious because she's the only one who went for the phone, whose facial expression we weren't. So, oh, okay, that's a good one. I think that would be better than keeping up with Izuku if we're too busy to help with the rest of the country and keeping it safe, which is what you need to go after Izuku. Yes, if they gave that reason, like, we're just spread too thin, I would have been much better. That would have been a much better reason. Nezu has been suspicious for a while, though. I might have contracted, so I might not stay on for as long these next few days, unless I'm lucky and it's just a flu or something. Oh, Sarge, shit, man. I hope you're well, man. I hope you get better. I'm getting my COVID shot on, like, the 18th, so I might not be here next week. Oh, hey, Tiandre. Genshin crossover when? I don't know. We just need to see Team Lurkers there to help take him in. What's weird to me with Nezu wanting to bring back Izuku is that they're short on time to find Shigaraki, and Izuku is the only one to lure the league out. That is just tossing the pros plan away. Yeah, but at this point, it's like Nezu is thinking like there's no point keeping Izuku out there if he's gonna self-destruct. That's probably what it is. But the level with which people kind of just disregard what they're doing and disregard rhetorics, that's pretty common for Hero Academia. That's just par for the course. They change their minds on this kind of stuff. What they're pretty much doing is like, okay, this plan is failing. Let's change approaches, and there's nothing really strategically wrong with doing that. But right now, it looks like Nezu, in his mind, it looks like Nezu is saying, like, if we take back Izuku, don't worry about it. If we're going to get attacked, the UA barrier is there. So Nezu is already expecting to be ready for an attack if they grab Izuku back. What do you think the second quirk is? I think it's a laser. I definitely think it's a projectile. It would be inefficient to adapt Izuku's tempo from a logistical standpoint. Yeah, it would be inefficient to adapt to Izuku, who is their main point around this. It would be inefficient to follow Izuku from 10 kilometers behind. No, Miguel, it wouldn't. You know, want to know why? Because if Izuku is by himself and Izuku gets kidnapped by a really hardcore villain, like, let's stop assuming that Izuku is going to take out all the villains. If the worst case scenario happens and Izuku is caught by a villain, then whoop-de-doo. What is, like, all your inefficiencies? Great. If that were to happen, we're going to be in a position where we're saying, why weren't the heroes next to him? Are we going to blame it? Oh, we weren't fast enough. That's why Izuku got caught. Oh my gosh. Who would have foreseen this? Who would have foreseen that by not following Izuku, he got isolated and captured at the worst possible moment? No, we can't be playing this game. If they're going to be making excuses like this in this critical moment, if Izuku's too much of a liability such that the risk of him being separated and caught becomes big, they shouldn't be letting Izuku do this. They should be changing their strategy on this particular situation. If it's inefficient to adapt to Izuku, we already see it. And here's the bigger problem. Because Izuku is already self-destructing, they should be on him more. They should be telling him, hey, you're going to burn out. We have to do this more professionally. There's nothing wrong with trying to stop Izuku here. Look what it takes for the adults to realize that Izuku's insane. Look what it takes when they know that Izuku has said goodbye to All Might. It takes Bakugo coming in there just to tell them, hey guys, you know that kid that you know is running on fumes? Yeah, he's kind of self-sacrificial. You guys are pretty insane. It takes a kid to come in to say what is obvious to everyone reading the situation and what should be obvious when you see All Might messaging them about Izuku separated off from them. They've seen what Izuku is doing. No, look. The adults are being made to be very stupid here, again, because they need to justify Class 1A going in there. There's no way around it. The adults don't have a leg to stand on here. They should be doing better. If the kids can see where they should be doing better, the adults can most certainly do better, but they're not because they're being made stupid for the sake of the plot. Nah, man, I'm not going to back down on giving the adults a clear pass here. Because if this doesn't happen and Izuku got taken away, which, if they really can't keep up with him, is a real risk, then we would have been chastising them. The entire story would have been chastising them. The rhetoric would have been slightly shifted. Nah. If it's inefficient to adapt to Izuku, stop Izuku. If that's the situation, stop it. Because otherwise, if you're not going to be following him, you're opening up the possibility that he's going to be taken by one of All For One's many unforeseen plans. And given that All For One is really good at surprising the heroes for whatever reason, that's actually a real possibility. Nah, man, nah. At least, again, my opinion. All Might should be faster. Remember, we have seen All Might at max speed since he says restraints from max speed. All Might better fight a bad guy with a gun. They just say Midnight is a traitor. She's dead. Oh, no comment. That's a joke. So by logic, the class also count as pro heroes. Yeah, I'm okay like saying they're like, yeah, they got authorized by Nezu. I'm okay by saying that they're pro heroes. To be fair, all higher ranked shinobi were out, including the teachers on a mission. Evgeny are just as valuable as experienced Chunin and Jonin. Recently fell in well, if we're gonna, like, I understand what you're saying there, Miguel. The kids, see, the difference for me on, well, there's not really much of a difference. Like, I understand, like, that situation with the Genin. Like, I actually don't really mind that whole point there. The Genin aren't as valuable as Chunin and Jonin, but Neji by himself probably outranks Chunin and Jonin, because Neji was trained from the moment he was a kid. Like, Neji outranks everyone else. That's why he's a Jonin by the time 3 years pass. Neji's a Jonin after the 3 year time skip. When you look at that, like, comparatively, Shikamaru's a genius, so he is most certainly more valuable than quite a lot of the Chunin. And Neji was already on the periphery of it. Like, the other three, like, yeah, we see the issue with the Genin that went after that. Neji had to go get a surgery, and Shoji had to almost kill himself to survive. Then when you have Kiba had to get supported by the recent Chunins from the Sand Village. Like, when you look at the situation with Naruto, I think you have a perfectly nice balance of penalties for what happened. It's not like those people came out of that with no problems, and they ultimately still failed. Like, it was a risk when she took it. And again, you had Shoji near death, and you had Neji having to get a surgery. You had Rock Lee showing up at the last minute. You needed to bring in reinforcements from another village. One of them being Jinchuriki, who has really good control. Yeah, no matter how you look at it, like, the Genin situation had pretty fair consequences to the situation. I hope that his classmates don't say bullshit like Uraraka saying I love you and then him reasonable reasons. Maybe Nezu predicted things would turn out like this and he's willing to compromise UA under siege. Oh, what do you mean by that, Miguel? Maybe Nezu predicted things would turn out like that? What exactly are you saying for that one? Maybe Nezu at what point did he predict that? You mean like the self-destruct? Did you see McGregor break his leg in his last fight? It snapped when he put weight on it after he struck his opponent's... Oh no, I didn't see that. Why Nejire though? I can see Shoji because he's supposed to have a big role coming up, but why Nejire? Oh no, it's just because like Shigaraki, when he was doing search, he found more people than he should have. And the only other person that was there was Nejire, but Ragdoll should never have seen Nejire, so Nejire shouldn't be showing up in search. Izuku would just ignore orders. Yes, you're right. And look what happens when Izuku ignores orders. People come to take him down. So, here's the thing. If Izuku is ignoring orders and he's in this agreement with the other pro heroes that this is what they're doing, if Izuku is going against the plan of the pro heroes, then are they not in their right to stop him? They are. The same way that Class A is coming in there and deciding to use force to stop Izuku, the adults could have done it as well. If the kids can do it, the adults most certainly can. But the adults are not going to be let to do it because the adults have already adopted a defeatist mentality on this particular situation. So thank you, Miguel. Yes, Izuku would ignore orders, which brings us to the current situation that we're in. The order right now is bring in Izuku. Izuku doesn't want to do it. All right, we restrain him. Wow. Great. Glad we agree on that. The reasonable thing to do is to restrain him. Yeah, more or less. Like, it's just like if Izuku's gonna be stupid, then it's up to the adults to show him right. Look, adults are there to guide people, to guide kids. If Izuku's doing something stupid, then every adult that didn't step up to say something to him, they've failed. That's just how it works. It's the same thing with All Might. You think Bakugo's afraid of saying that All Might's failed? You think that Bakugo's afraid of saying to Endeavor that they screwed up? No. No, because that's what happened. The adults, even with the current rhetoric, have failed. They haven't said it out loud yet because people are being nice, but the adults have failed. And there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that the adults have failed Izuku in this particular situation, because they have. When you have these people having to get ambushed so that the kids can get a moment to tell them, hey, stop being stupid, the adults have failed. And everything here is just, again, setting up why it is that the kids have to go in and why the adults are neutered. She didn't fake getting hit with debris and falling the height of Makia. She could have died from that. Let's see. Yeah, Choji's traitor. Can't trust these mutant types. They look... you think Horikoshi took out Midnight so she wouldn't be able to quirk on Izuku at this point in the story? Oh, maybe. But then again, we also have Aizawa. Like, there's many other people we can use. Personally, I think Midnight's 100% dead. I think Midnight's 100% dead too. But yeah, no, like if she comes back, that'll be pretty funny. The adults are treating Izuku as a peer more than a child. Can they stop Izuku though? I have heard that the second user might be a party boosting ability, and the gauntlets are just a tool. Can they? Oh, well, if the pro heroes can't stop Izuku, then why are we even considering the kids being able to stop Izuku? I mean, 20 people versus like say the top 4? Wow, that's yeah, like yeah, I guess that's my big question. If the pro heroes can't stop Izuku, can the kids stop Izuku without emotional appeals? Because like really the thing that the kids have is emotional appeals. The pros are acting very apologetic because they think of Izuku as a kid still. Oh, so they think of Izuku as a kid, and so they think to not reprimand him. Oh, this is pretty interesting though, Miguel. Like right above you, you have Speed having the interpretation that they see Izuku more as a peer, and you have the interpretation that they think of Izuku as a kid. So we do have something actually interesting here, in that we're coming at this from multiple perspectives. And that is probably like the more interesting thing to look at, even within the chat right here. Let's see. I think the kids, or at least some of them, should stick with Izuku instead of taking him back to UA, taking guard while they allow him to rest or something, but keep on looking for All for One. I agree with that. I think the second user would agree with that too. I think Izuku having a change in strategy would be worthwhile in this particular situation, and I don't think any of us would disagree with that. Could I check out one? Oh, yeah, if you want. Don't bring up Neji's name. My favorite character died first ship. Hody is making Izuku as a conflict hero that believe what he's doing right, and back will former bad, bring back, turn good. The problem is the plan is having tangible results to use Izuku as bait. He predicted Izuku would get tired out and they'd have to bring him back to UA, so he prepared for UA to be under attack. If Class A is out of UA, that means Class B could get the spotlight if UA gets attacked while they're out following Izuku. Well, that's a good point, and we do have Shinzo and Monoma set up for something, right? From the interviews. But like, Nezu had UA prepared since the Autumn Festival from what he's saying. I don't know. I feel like that's more like if Nezu is traitor or something like that, maybe. This is one of those things I would like for the author to just clarify directly with Nezu, in all honesty. I don't know about that one. Huh. Yeah, because like he prepared, like the UA Berry has been ready since Autumn Festival. It'd be interesting. I wish, this just pretty much tells me I wish we had more Nezu. I was going to be a class 2A, is going to react to Bakugo, is going to save him. What's your opinion on the Kaminari as a traitor thief? I hope it's not true, but I can see it happening. I hope it's not true personally. I'm surprised everyone now noticed that Izuku is a conflicted kid and Aizawa try. You think Kirishima could survive a 45% smash? He survived a hit from Higantomaki, so Deku might have to use Fajin on him. Oh, hey Omar. Yeah, man, I think Kirishima could probably survive 45. I feel like I think Izuku would probably also hold back a little bit. Like, Izuku's going to be careful not to kill anyone. Is what Coach trying to say, a fully rested and can't bring in a sleep deprived Izuku, but newbie heroes can? Yeah. Sad news, the author of Misfits, the misfit of Demon Lord Academy, passed away. Oh no. Oh no. Oh wait, no, this is it's the manga, not the original author. It's the artist. I think it's the artist. It looks like it's the artist. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, I'm just looking at an article. Pancreatic cancer. Oh damn it. Oh, this guy went down painful, man. Oh, the manga was canceled for Misfit of Demon King Academy. And so, like, speaking of like painful ways to go down, pancreatic cancer is pretty terrible. Man, that's unfortunate, man. Holy crap. That's too bad. So, like, the manga adaptation's out. That's too bad. The adults might be putting since he has one for all and is more capable and can handle it, and wouldn't consider the effects of Izuku's actions on himself. Yeah, no, if that's well, like the thing is, they're also aware that Izuku's burning out, so that's pretty bad judgment on their part. Are the pro heroes projecting all might on Izuku? I hope not. Didn't Nezu imply that he didn't make Yue an evacuation ref? What? Wait, didn't Nezu imply that he didn't make Yue an evacuation refugee? Oh, hey Darian. My official pick is May. My crack picks are Midnight. Shoji, Izuku, and Nejire, and like let's throw in Blood King there if you want to be funny. But yeah, those are my crack picks that don't really have a lot of logic behind them. But my logical pick is May. So give me a second here, Miguel. I'm just gonna look at the chapter again. I don't want to like say the wrong thing here. Let's see. Where are you, Nezu? Nezu, where are you? UA barrier. Where are ya? Okay. So I'm assuming you're talking about this page in 319, Miguel, where like Endeavor was like, what about the safety of the evacuees? And then Nezu says, a proper evacuation shelter must be more than simply a plot of land. I shall have to reassure them somehow. Our security system was fortified for the school festival, though it has yet to see use. I'm talking about the UA barrier. It will prove its worth. Yeah, no, like, I don't see the... Is this the wrong page? It's just like he says a proper evacuation shelter must be more than simply a plot of land. I mean, way to state the obvious. Like, yes, evacuation shelters in a crisis should have some level of defenses. So from that point, I don't see the particular issue here. I don't see the implication unless there's something else that you're referring to. Mind you, Miguel, I don't really fully understand what you were trying to say. Didn't Nezu imply that he didn't make Yue an evacuation refugee? I feel like Hagakure is a traitor, but that's so obvious. Yeah, me too, Common. I don't like it because it's too obvious. It's all of 1A versus tired Izuku, and you got Ira and Shoto with their post-stain camaraderie, and Baku who wouldn't restrain himself against Izuku. Baku was straightforward, even though he admired them, but since Izuku didn't have a quirk, put them on a pedestal, so he feels they can't do no wrong. Either way, still sad to hear. Oh, I got that. Trip in Whole Cake Island, which I'm still not done with because, Jesus Christ, it's taking me 50 years to watch because Zoro's not there. But anyway, how the heck can anyone kill Big Mom? Her skin is broken. Oh, they have a way of it. I just find it suspicious that she was absent from the class the day the press got in, and she was subsequently completely unknown during the USJ attack. You can't do any damage unless she's weak, so how Izuku's pet... Oh, don't worry, Omar. They got a trick for that. Izuku follows the heroic behaviors that are acceptable in times in extreme crisis. Yeah, like the self-sacrifice, yeah. Like it takes a little bit of thinking to realize that you need to take care of yourself before you go taking care of others, because if you get in trouble, who's going to take care of you? Can you imagine Horikoshi pulling an invincible reference if Izuku tries to grab Ida like Omni-Man did Red Rush? Ida kicking him to be free would be cool. Well, I do think like it's going to be hardcore Izuku pointing... I think it's going to be like Izuku thinking like, okay, Mineta, this is the problem with him, take him out. Like the thing is though, like when it comes to Izuku, is his fatigue going to let him actually think about everything he needs to do correctly? And again, the kids really should be trying to keep Izuku from thinking. Ideally, all of them know how to deal with Izuku, but really, probably only Bakugo knows how to deal with Izuku and maybe Ida. Ochako traitor? Nah. Oh, Darian, the Izuku being the traitor thing is just the idea that All For One is spying on Class A through Izuku's eyes, through some kind of weird one for all for one connection. That's all that is. Looks like we're getting the main events of this course of slime starting next week. Yeah. Was it said that Nezu was a lab rat that was experimented on? So it's possible for animals to have quirks. Yes, it's possible for animals to have quirks. I believe in Vigilantes there was a cat that had a quirk. And I mean, there's that whole situation with the bee. Whatever the bee is. Like, I still don't fully understand the situation with the bee. If the theory of Izuku Trader is because maybe that could mean All Might is a traitor because before the Camino accident, All for One did not know Izuku was the ninth. I don't know. Like, I remember that situation. My question is, how did All for One know to ask All Might about Izuku, right? Like, he already knew Izuku's name and he just confirmed it with All Might. So the guy knew before the actual fight that Izuku was the next holder. Yo, White Despair. Bro, but Izuku is 100% badass now. Well, he is certainly edgy. But yo, White Despair, you got any thoughts in general? Yeah, guys, I do think I'd like to go through my my thought process on what might happen tomorrow. So from my perspective, I think there are... Oh, right, Despair is writing something. Neat. And Miguel, if you have any thoughts on what will happen next chapter, I would love to hear them as well. But yeah, so when it comes to my considerations, I'm keeping in mind that the second user likes the idea of allies from what we've seen here. And I'm also keeping in mind that he wants Izuku to keep moving, right? So that's already a pretty big thing. I'm keeping in mind that Stain is still a factor. And for me, I think like Stain and Izuku still need to have a chat. So for that chat to happen, it kind of requires that Izuku not be in UA. I do think All for One is still a factor here in the sense that All for One is predicting Izuku. And All for One has said that Izuku is someone that will shun the world away. So for him, I feel like for All for One to keep saying like, Izuku, you keep doing the things that I say that you're doing, I feel like Izuku needs to shun his friends and keep himself away from them. And then we have the UA barrier. What the UA barrier says to me is pretty much we're going to end up at UA at some point. And that could point us to either like Izuku being taken to UA sooner, or it could mean that after a lot of events, Izuku ends up back at UA, that the barrier has to be tested. Those are the ways that I'm ultimately looking at it. Those are the factors I'm taking into consideration. And then we go into like the three possibilities. So the three possibilities here are Izuku wins, and his win conditions are pretty much he escapes. So in the escape route, Izuku probably would focus more on just using his quirks to get enough distance from the kids. Probably take out the people who would prevent him from running away, and then just running away. Another Izuku victory could just be flat out Izuku takes out everyone. I'm not sure if that's possible, because I feel like if he goes down that route, he might have a situation where he hurts one person a little bit too much, and that might serve as his penalty, and that might be like the lesson for him. Otherwise, for the Izuku wins route, that's where you could have Stain show up. If Stain shows up, then Izuku has a supporter, and maybe Stain grabs Izuku, and that's where him and Stain have their conversations, and maybe we see Dark Hero Stain or something like that. So those are like the Izuku potentials for Izuku winning, I feel. We then have the Class 1A victories. So the Class 1A victory is pretty much either convince Izuku to go back or just knock him out. And to convince Izuku to go back, we probably notice it because it's going to require a lot of rhetoric. Because to convince him, you need to break through a lot of layers of hard head. And I'm not sure if they can do that. But if we're going in the convincing route, I imagine things like Ochako making an emotional plea. But it looks like we're going to go into like kind of hard combat right now. The other win condition is knock out Izuku and then drag him back. And then that ends us up at UA. Now, the thing is, like, if we do the Class 1A wins, we kind of lose on All for One making fun of Izuku's choices. So we kind of lose that. And if we go in Class 1A wins, well, the second user doesn't want to go back to UA. He wants to keep moving, we should assume. But if we go into the Class 1A wins, the UA barrier gets activated. Unfortunately, Stain doesn't get activated in this place, so we have to kind of wonder what Stain's role is going to be. If we go now into the third route, which is Compromise. And Compromise pretty much looks like um, the students deciding to go with Izuku, and Izuku still doing his own thing, but now he has more support. If we go into the compromise route, we end up in a situation where we can just see more interesting things, and then it kind of throws off like what could actually happen, because now if we're doing compromise, Izuku's lesson might already be learned unless Izuku tries to pull one over on them. But the thing with compromise is that it if we do compromise, the one that wins here is the second user, because the second user will get everything he wants, allies, and he keeps Izuku moving, and you get to observe the original plan. When it comes to compromise, Ida did say that he wanted to follow behind Izuku as he's going on this thorny path. So I feel like compromise has some narrative buildup to it, and we could end up seeing it, with the factors for that one being Ida and the second user. Other things to consider is that with this fight, I feel like second user's quirk is probably going to come out, because this feels like a big boss battle comparable to Nagant, which would be interesting to see. And of course, the rhetorics that we're going to see here are going to be pretty much the rhetoric of Izuku's knowledge of his friends and his exhaustion versus Bakugo's knowledge of Izuku's quirks and his prediction ability versus that aspect for Bakugo and teamwork in general for the Class 1A kids. It's going to be a duel between those two rhetorics. I don't really know if Izuku's exhaustion is going to be enough for the kids to be able to overcome Izuku. We'll have to see. But that's my thought process. In terms of the one that I'm personally rooting for, I'm just rooting for Izuku to escape, because I really want to see Izuku get yelled at by All For One. But I'd be quite happy with Izuku being dragged back to UA, or even getting a compromise where the kids decide to go after him. Alright, those were my thoughts. Okay, so I'm going back, and White Despair was saying, honestly, I'm expecting a sort of switch around next chapter. I think that initially Izuku will start using his knowledge of his classmates will suddenly start doing the same, with some dialogue similar to, "Did you forget who taught you how to use those quirks?" Oh, I don't think that works for a good chunk of them, or for half of them. No one taught Izuku how to use Smokescreen. No one taught Izuku how to use, like, Fajin. No one taught Izuku how to use Oh yeah, Danger Sense, right? So like that's the only thing that I guess you could see it in like in small doses, but it wouldn't be as strong as the rhetoric. Toru isn't popular enough to be a traitor. She isn't even a top 40 poll. Seeing her visible would be a bigger reveal. Trip, in Fishman Island, Luffy promised to Kraken that he will save his brother. Is that still happening, you think? Yes, I think so. I forgot all about that plot point. I think so. Better question, will Izuku use the quirk information, or will he do All For One? I think quirk information. The B villain still confuses me. Was it just a person? They should have explained more in that character. Yeah. One or two finger flicks will take out quite a few of the more minor students. I agree. I mean, like, if Meteor was able to take them out with a gut punch, I'm sure they can fall to a finger flick. Couldn't Shigaraki tell All For One that some kid had a similar quirk to All Might after USJ? Yeah, maybe. That'd be the smart thing to do. That would be the other way of going about it. Also, when Brook meets Laboon again, is he going to leave his Straw Hat, or is Laboon just going to join the crew? Well, he's probably going to meet Laboon at the end of the series. Imagine a trader is not even a student and teacher, and it's like Mount Lady or something. Oh, but Mount Lady has a relationship, or like, she has a ship tease. I don't think it's going to be her. If Izuku behave like All For One more time, I'm going to believe he's All For One's son. Let's see. White Despair says, I'm 50-50 on whether Izuku will have an interaction with Stain. I do think that Stain will be important. I'm not sure if it will be Izuku or All Might. Given that a talk between Stain and All Might has been foreshadowed since the license, I think that Stain will definitely have some sort of interaction with All Might. However, I'm not sure if he'd had an interaction with Izuku as well. Yeah, I'd say Stain has the interaction, only because I'm basing it on a pattern. But if the author says, like, okay, I want to, I'm going to break pattern, then I'd be like, okay, he broke pattern, right? But that's the only thing. I'm using this as like a narrative cue. So this all is hinging on an assumption that I'm making, right? So I understand why you're 50-50. For this purpose, I don't mind being wrong. I'll just say Izuku's going to have a conversation with Stain at some point here. If 1A needs to KO Izuku, then Kaminari just need to ask his grandpa Saitama to do it. Seriously, the 1A should just bring Inko and have her tell Izuku to stop. Mom always wins. Yeah. Right now, I don't see Class A getting Izuku back right now. He'll just escape. I only see something serious changing his mind, like All For One hurting someone close to him like a hostage. Yeah, that's one of the penalties I see for Izuku as well. All For One. Or just Izuku seeing the ramifications of his actions. Izuku is going into this thinking that he can save everything by just suffering himself. He needs to learn that his actions can still actually get people hurt here. My bets are on him running away and shutting down his tracker, or if Class A gets through to Izuku, All For One use a contingency plan to remind Izuku he needs to be isolated or something. Ooh, yeah, that'd be a good one. That's actually a pretty good idea there. We get a scene of Izuku doing the foot stop equivalent. Come on. The whole thing with the bees were kind of like a drug that boosted someone's quirk. Have you seen Sun Patches? No, I have not. What is that one, man? I'm betting on compromise. Ida taught Izuku his kicks, and most of his movements are based off of Bakugo. Oh, in that sense, yeah. Yeah. But I mean, imagine teaching someone how to kick. Like, that's not that big of a deal. I mean, Ojiro probably knows how to kick really well, too. It's possible the trader comes from a family with people who think the same. We never had confirmation in the manga, so I wonder if it's more than just a student. Ah, that's fair. That's fair. Shigaraki did mention Izuku after USJ, describing him as a kid that was just as fast as All Might, to which All For One should be interested. Okay, yeah, so that might be like the moment that All For One figured it out, if he doesn't have a connection to Izuku. If Inko dies, I'm suing Shonen Jump for emotional distress. Fair enough. One day loses, but then Izuku meets Stain, and he's the one to stop him because All Might asked him to. Oh, that'd be... Yeah, I think that's also very fair. My thoughts... Ah, gotcha, Sarins. My thought... Izuku is like Superman, but he's like Batman with superpowers. Izuku probably alternates between multiple heroes in terms of references. Okay, I will save that link. Hopefully I don't forget to Google. Oh yeah, I'll just Google it right now just to make sure. Great. UA Trader versus Danger Sense? Okay. Yeah, sure. I will check it out later. How do you think Izuku will sound in the anime from this arc? The word bubble looks monstrous. Probably have a huskier... Oh yeah, sure, Sar. If you can short form it, go for it. But I'll try to watch it after the stream's over. There could be multiple traders. Yes, there could be. But yeah, Ty, I think he'd probably be just really hoarse. Is what I would imagine for him. I can't imagine anything. Well, like there might also be distortion from the mask or something like that. My Stain idea is accurate. Then we can see Stain at UA. With Ida, and possibly Ida and Izuku's mother all looking at him. Oh yeah, John, definitely. I liked Kreska. Oh yeah, Animamus, Kreska-Rurumon. I thought it was really neat. I liked that. That was my first time seeing Kreska-Rurumon fully, so that was super neat. Deku gets captured. Whatever happens, he wakes up in the school around friends and teachers. They just active, but he can't tell who. Oh. Yeah, I don't know if Danger Sense actually would work like that, though. I don't think Danger Sense is actually like that fine-tuned, but that would be pretty neat. Like, maybe if the trader was doing something detrimental at that moment in time. But I don't know. Anxiety would probably be the best way to put it, yeah. Did you get... Oh, yeah, no, Omar. There's no Gear 5 Luffy. I mean, like, Oda's hinted at Gear 5, like in an interview. But there's no Gear 5 Luffy just yet. Stain will stop Izuku because he doesn't want to have his true hero killed because he's being stupid. Yes. Yes, that's probably going to be the thing that ultimately guides Stain's hand, I think. I would agree with that. Do you think Danger Sense will work on his friends if they're not seen as threats? Yes. Yes, it would work on his friends. Because when Banjo was just playing around with Hikage in Vestige World, Danger Sense was activating. So Danger Sense doesn't care about whether or not the person is a friend. It only cares about whether or not harm is coming to you at the very least. And again, this is based off the idea that Banjo, being Hikage's friend, was able to... Well, Hikage was able to trigger... Or Danger Sense triggered on it, and Hikage was able to dodge him. Even though it was just playful. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, Trip. The thing about the B quirk user in Vigilante was basically using her quirk to inject a drug made by the villains to turn citizens into villains. Yeah, yeah, but is is the is the B quirk user actually a bee? Because remember, the B quirk user takes people over. Like it took over Pop and all them, and then the B quirk got away from the one girl and went to Pop. That's the question. That's what we're kind of curious about. Ayama is interested, but Mei will still be confusing because she won't know about the camp. So a teacher or Nezu. Nah. Like Mei's pretty simple. The way to go with Mei is simple. You just gotta say Mei can build robots. What stops Mei from putting GPS tracking devices on UA vehicles? What stops Mei from putting a GPS tracking device on someone's equipment? If you can answer what stops Mei from putting a GPS tracker device on any equipment that comes through the support department, you can say why Mei wouldn't know where the kids went. But if Mei can build robots, there's no reason to believe she wouldn't have a GPS tracker on her, given that tracking devices are something that are easily producible. Like if you have enough fabrication, and if you're producing robots, you're producing GPS tracking devices, or you can just order a GPS tracking device. Trip, what do you think Gear 5 would be? Okay, so we got Muscle Balloon. I feel like it's gonna be more hockey stuff. You know, I think it's gonna be more hockey blending. It's probably gonna look goofy too. Like Gear 3rd is goofy. Only Gear 2nd really isn't goofy, and Snake Man maybe. But yeah, I think it's gonna be like more hockey, or maybe even another thing that you. Oh yeah, you know about it. Maybe Awakening stuff. I think that'd be pretty fair. I was at work the other day and thought of the most one-sided crossover fight. Who else wants to see My Hero Nezu versus One Punch Man Neon? Oh. Yeah. I don't know. I don't. Kreskarumon Ryu gives me mixed feelings. Blitzgreymon didn't get evolution, but then again, Tai and Agumon have too much exposure. Kresgarumon's evolution was lazy, just slamming armor on Wergarumon. Yeah, no, but like compared to everything else, like everyone else's evolutions, it's better than say what Bergramon gets, I feel, right? Like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm quite okay with it. It seems that the debriefing is wrapping up in Slime as they prepare for Demon Lord meeting. Since the Golden Sword Fighter's soul is with Strabimon, I'm wondering if it'll help him evolve into someone like Magna Garurumon or something, so he's technically part of the Garurumon family. Oh, that'd be cool. Oh, hey, Leela. Let's see. Why would Mei be a traitor? What would be the goal in that? Well, Common, I have a video about that, so you could go into it. But it's pretty much just like Mei's a neutral party, and she just wants money to be able to make more of her things. I'm thinking more of Mei as an informer, where she just pretty much sells information to the villains, and she gets money, and then she gets more equipment. Like, one thing to consider is that Mei had to get money to build stuff from before she got to UA. So where does she get the money for the parts, right? That kind of stuff. Mei may have been building equipment for villains from a very long time. We don't know. Like, Mei's neutral enough that you could ascribe to her negative traits to make it work. But like, Mei's just like a contrary pick. If Mary served me right, they took the beehive quirk out of her eye. Yes, Nian is technically evil, just nature. Sure, Nian smacked Nezu upside the head, but it's what cats do. And then the other villain somehow got his hands on it and gave it to Pop. Oh, Omar, you'll see Snake Man pretty soon. It is a Gear 4th variation. Kidding aside, I wonder how Nian would affect Aizawa's view on cats. I mean, like, Aizawa's probably dealt with villains that have cat-like features. Like, Aizawa probably doesn't care all that much. Like, I would assume. I would assume Aizawa doesn't care. Deku Dad show up and try to stop Izuku from self-destructing behavior and save Izuku from it. Then that's how Dad will show up and be relevant in the story. Oh, that'd be nice. Hope Izuku wins, escapes, and causes more stress and anxiety. Opens the door for Stain. I think Stain will be the one to push Izuku back onto a better path. Yeah, I think like Stain's gonna have something to do with it.
Think you
I think
can
Stain's
get
gonna be
away?
helpful in this situation. Me personally. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
That really hurt. I must leave no stone I'll catch up.
How do you feel about the third movie character, Rhodey? Who is that? Is that like the kid that's following around Izuku? I don't really care about movie characters all too much, Leela, because they don't really matter in the long run. Let's see. Also, Trip, the manga One Piece ever showed non-stuffed man? Non-stuffed? Oh, no. It showed stuffed Tank Man. Like the Tank Man that ate all the crackers? Yeah, no, it showed that. Eraser's evolution would be him blinking, no longer turns off his quirk, but mental focus does. That'd be interesting.
Did I ruin everything?
Let's see. Izuku's dad shows up and uses the fire breathing quirk. Ah, see ya, Tiandre. Ofanimon and Seraphimon hint at credit scene. Yes. Ida tried to attack Stain and Izuku punch him, then say let him go. Everyone, we all know usually some happens and we get a predictions wrong, so let's all... Oh, hey, Prower. Think of a stupid thing and watch it be real. Well, I don't know. Like, I think we all have, like, a lot of different ideas for this particular situation. I'm excited, though. Excited for tomorrow. Let's see. Trying to think. Are there any other things like worth talking about from the recent chapter? Like, are there any other things on your guys' minds? I was asking about Rhodey because I thought his character design was also Oceania is a fictional place. I think the film's really world build. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, like the films do a lot more for the world outside of Japan than the series itself does. Like, that's very true. Oh, great. Great, Prower. Great. I hope you've been well, Prower. But, yeah, for Hero Academia, like, I can only really think of... I can really only think of, like, the things about what's going to happen with Class 1A. There weren't any other little parts in the chapter that I thought were too concerning. I guess the timeline of the situation is also worth talking about, but we already talked about that at the beginning. Okay, but random. At the end of the day, is the hive itself... does the beehive have a quirk? What do you think about it, random? Is that bee officially an animal with a quirk? All for one real name is Tom. I don't know. Bakugo threatens to destroy all of Izuku's All Might merch, so he rushes back to save the poster he stole from a dead guy. Oh, you know what? Actually, I would love to see if the kids would try to hold Izuku's belongings hostage. If Izuku just says, like, I don't care about that anymore, that's when you know Izuku's too far gone. That'd be pretty funny. I love the new theme. I know most of you don't, but to me, it's currently my second fave. Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't know most of us didn't like the new theme. I didn't really have any particular issue with it. I'm glad you like it, though. That's okay, Omar. We all think it. We all agree with you, man. Like for me, like the new theme is another oh god, I forget what they're called now. Man with a Mission theme. Like it's pretty on point for Man with a Mission. Like if you ask me to think of like Man with a Mission and their sound, it's pretty much the sound that we hear in that opening. Like it's almost all almost all man with a mission songs are pretty much like the one we have for Hero Academia. I'm not even surprised at how consistent those guys are. So my life there's good news. I can now drive on my own, it's good, but the bad is I'm in the red, having new tires, an oil change. Oh buddy, yeah, I feel that. I feel that. The wonders of driving, huh man? Ryan Reynolds uploaded a new Deadpool video with Korg from Thor Ragnarok. Oh, wonderful! That's wonderful! That sounds great. Oh, the car I'm using, so it's not even my car. Oh, okay, well, never mind. Oh, yeah, Leela, like, if you went around and you went through a thing of, like, listening to the other Man with a Mission songs, you'd get a sense for their style. Like, 100%, you'd get a sense for their style. Like, when I first heard the song and, like, the opening, I was like, yeah, this is pretty on point. Pretty on point. I wasn't surprised, I wasn't disappointed. That's about what I expected for that level of song. If you feel like looking at other songs for Man with a Mission, you can look at Man with a Mission, like Raise Your Flag. That's a Gundam opening, and I think Man with a Mission also did one, the Seven Deadly Sins opening. Yeah, I think Seven Deadly Sins, Man with a Mission opening. You could probably search that if you want to look at the other Man with a Mission songs. Yeah, no, like this. Yeah, you could go ahead and look at it if you want to. Again, it's cool how consistent they are. Ah, yes, Power. I've been using Venti a little bit more often. Don't worry, Power. Every time I use Venti, I remember you. Looks like something will happen with Agumon next episode. Yeah. How do you guys feel about Agumon having so much time? Or like, you know, Tai and Agumon showing up for everyone's situation. It just always happens. Nice, Power. Only thing I think about for tomorrow is Class A combination they're going to use against Deku. I imagine Ochaku using a quirk on Kirishima, then Bako turning him into a missile with Unstoppable. Oh, but that feels like a waste of time. Like, why bother propelling Kirishima when you can just blast Izuku with, you know, with some explosions? That's kind of what I'm thinking there, man. Like, for me, I'm thinking, like, combinations I could see from you know, Toru, Aoyama, and Hagakure. I could definitely see that. I don't know about anything else. Bakugo, I feel like Bakugo can weave in and out, and Ochako maybe probably with Suyu quite a bit. I don't know. We'll have to see. I hope we get team combinations though. I want to just be a showcase at this point. Well, we gotta find ways to make Uraraka useful. Oh, guys, but wait. Do you think there'll be an Uraraka slap across Izuku's face telling him to not be so stupid? That might not happen here. It might happen later. But Ochako should be an enabler. Like, if she tries to go up against Izuku, that's not going to be a good fight unless Izuku's really tired. So I think she should try enabling and supporting her classmates. Really, again, I do hope everyone is centered around Mineta, because Mineta's the clincher here. If Mineta gets to stick Izuku and Bakugo together, that's it. Izuku's lost. Oh, okay, gotcha, Omar. Yeah, that's pretty cool too. That's pretty cool. That'd be funny. Trying to think. Who do I need to use here? Ashido throws acid in his face and he has to go back for medical help. Well, that'd be good. I mean, that would be like quite a interesting way to win, I think. Probably a fair way to win. Okay. Also, guys, I can still read your guys' comments. Just, I'm also just doing this. just giving this a run. I want to see if I can win with this group.
Time to clean up.
Let's see.
Leave it all to me. Yahoo!
Come on. It's just so many special effects once these things start going. The good thing with Noelle, though, is my Noelle is built enough that she can just take all the hits in the world. Oh, never mind. She can't take all the hits in the world.
Must leave no stone unturned.
You know, to some degree, playing Genshin is just learning how to play while not being able to see what you're doing. Uh-oh. Ooh.
Time for takeoff.
Oh, cool. I beat that one. Not really sure what happened there, but we beat that guy. Thank God for Venti, huh, Prower? Let's see. Iruma-kun anime is getting to the amusement park, while the manga is showing more of the other characters. Okay, I seem to like Overworld songs. I both love Odd Future and Fire from Promised Neverland. Oh, those are good ones, though, Leela. Those are really good. I like them as well. I understand why Aguma is getting all the attention. He's pretty much the poster child of Digimon, similar to Pikachu being the poster child of Pokemon. Yeah. Yeah, I just kind of wish that it wasn't Tai all the time. Kaminai shoots Izuku in the balls with one of his discs and shocks him full of power, and they both get taken back. I don't know if that's true, but the chain Momo created last chapter can nullify quirks. It's the same equipment that the police use to obtain villains. I don't think it nullifies quirks. I think it just like, because they don't have quirk nullification technology in Hero Academia. If they had quirk nullification technology, they'd have it in Tartarus, but they don't. In Tartarus, they have guns and missiles. So like it's just suppressors. Like this, they use it for binding people, and that just makes it harder to use a quirk more often than not. But otherwise, they're just restraints. If they were actually quirk suppressing things, everyone in Tartarus would have been wearing them, but they aren't. Again, it's just an issue. Like I think it makes quirks harder to use. Depends on the definition. Yes, Chris. Wano did not end. Deku will know how dangerous Mineta is and will be the first one Izuku takes out. I hope so. Izuku grab Mineta and use his ball to stick everyone, but get caught off guard. Let's see. By the way, in the B, who is that one guy on the right side with the white hair? Oh, in the beginning of the opening. Oh yeah, Leela. I think that's just a random UA teacher. I think he might have been there back during USJ when all the teachers showed up. Tai asks, is it bad that I want Izuku to knock out Ochako and she confesses, then Izuku pulls a Sasuke on her? Would be pretty funny. That would be pretty funny, man. Ochako is going to kiss Izuku and Izuku will be in so much love he gets knocked out. Oh yeah, Random. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I really enjoy it as well. Omar, right now they're in the middle of the raid on Onigashima fighting. Yes. Omar, don't worry. When you get there, you'll enjoy it. Alright. Well, let's go for it. Whew. This is just how we are going to do this one. So this is just the regular old grasshopper technique. Unfortunately, probably should have gone in with the ice first. Make an ice field. But it's okay. We'll figure it out. Oh, good.
Freeze to the core. Shut up.
Alright, here we go. So now we'll get swirl reactions on them. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to add a healer. Oh, that's a bad move. We'll leave for now. Final prediction, Izuku dies but gives one for all to Mineta and rename Ball for all. Terry, I appreciate how on point you are. Let's see. Bakugo there needs to because he actually cares, or he just not want to be left behind. What exactly is their relationship status? Oh no, because he actually cares. Bakugo cares. He's bothered. Like, Bakugo's angry. Bakugo's angry that Izuku keeps doing what Bakugo tells him to not do. Like, remember, like, Bakugo has a chip on his shoulder. He told Izuku to stop doing things by himself. And here we are again, Izuku doing things by himself. No, Bakugo's angry and he's bothered that Izuku's being stupid. That's probably the correct read. So this time I will be smarter. Maybe I should have ice instead. I feel Yongling is more worthwhile though. Whatever. We'll put in ice. Do. And then for this one we will put in Barb, since she'll give us a free revive. Tip, do you think Zoro can cut Big Mom? No, probably not. Because Zoro couldn't break through Doflamingo's birdcage. Oh, yeah, random. In that case, yeah. People probably aren't liking Realist for that. But, you know, that's what Realist was, like, going into it. It was going to be political. It's unfortunate, too, because, like, Realist has one of the smartest... it's, like, one of the smartest isekais, technically, when it comes to the way it presents its situations.
Think you can get away?
Okay, let's switch over to Noelle here.
Must leave no stone as a dutiful maid would.
Oh, see ya, Terry. But yeah, Random, I'm glad that you like it. Like, the politics stuff is quite a lot, but later on this, in like, I think within like the next 4 episodes or so, we should be looking at the war stuff, because there is some, there are some problems brewing in the, like, under the surface here. Oof, here we go.
Let's play.
Okay, Noelle. Excellent. Oof, oof. Just gonna grab a few more health points here. Nice, nice, nice. Just, let's do this again. There we go. Do that. Do that.
Time for takeoff.
Man, too bad Prow's not here. He would have loved seeing Venti do stuff. Oh, we did it. Oh, hey, Gohan. Oh yeah, Omar, the birdcage was just Doflamingo's string. Being a fan, yeah, Gohan, yeah. Class A doesn't just care about Izuku, but they need Izuku. I think they all realize he's their strategist. No, I don't think that's the rhetoric, because they have Momo. Like, no, like, Momo, the queen of thinking ahead, nah, they know, like, they have Momo. It's not because they need their strategist. They just want their friend back. That's all I think it is. I wouldn't say it's anything but that. Like, in my opinion. Like, this is just pure on friendship. And, like, really, not that many people have actually experienced Izuku's tactics. More of the kids have experienced Momo's tactics. And Momo's tactics have had more of a big impact in big moments kind of thing. Uh-oh.
You disappear. Worthless. Here. Worthless.
Oh, Prow, good, good. Dungeon of Black Company is hilarious. Yeah, man. I've done my first episode review for it, but I haven't edited it just yet. So it'll just take me a little bit of time to edit it. But I thought it was funny. It might not be my personal thing because I usually don't like dicks as main characters, kind of thing. I do kind of enjoy characters I can get behind, but I do appreciate it. Oh man, so many special effects. Come on, Zhao. Come on, Zhao. Oh, god damn it. Oh, god damn it. Damn it, we lost Zhao. Let's see. I say we should guess who Izuku takes out first from the class. I say he knocks out Momo since he knows of her intelligence and her resourcefulness. Yeah, I feel like okay. If I feel like Mineta should be the first one to take. You should take out. I think that's just smart. I think that's smart. That's a smart maneuver on that one in general. But otherwise, like my top 5 are definitely take out Momo, take out Mineta. But in terms of who he might take out first, he might like just because of how underwhelming they are. He might take out Soto. Sorry, not Soto. Sero first. He might take out Sero first, and yeah.
It's a good night shoot.
It's just like a bunch of them might get taken out in the first little bit too. But in terms of the big targets, Momo, Mineta, Sero. I don't think Ojiro. I think Izuku would be okay having Ojiro for like the middle of the pack. Because he like Izuku would probably say something like Ojiro is you know, Ojiro might not be the strongest person here, but he might be able, well, Ojiro's good at hit and running, so he might keep Izuku distracted. So Izuku would have to get rid of him eventually. Shoji would be the kid's eyes. Like, Shoji would be maybe an interesting issue if Izuku was using smokescreen, but like Shoji will probably not really contribute much aside from keeping up with where Izuku's going. Yeah, I think it's Mineta, Momo, maybe Hagakure, Sero. Can't think of anyone else. Maybe Ira. Maybe take out Ira. Because like the big hitters like Shoto and Bakugo, those are going to be the tough ones for him to actually take out. So he probably would just be wary of them while he tries taking out the others.
Time for takeoff.
Let's recharge on the HP. Okay, we'll just do that. Cool. Much of this is Bakugo's doing. Tell someone he is worthless long enough and he believes you. Especially since he was so trusted. Breaking himself, no big deal since he's useless anyway. Yeah, if he says that, that's gonna really like sting. Leela says they have Momo. Yeah, right. That girl can't do anything right. Yeah, it doesn't matter if we say that. Like in universe, the kids all swear by Momo, right? Like in universe, everyone loves Momo. In universe, Momo can do no wrong. So that's why like they like in universe they all recognize Momo as the person that thinks ahead. So that's the issue in that particular sense.
Let's dance.
Oh, good. Let's see. I recently had the thought that Momo could take on the hero named Midnight to pay homage to Midnight. I mean, if she could make sleeping gas from her skin, that would be perfect. Yeah, but then that takes away from Momo's own identity, right? Like, she doesn't necessarily need to. She already has Creati. I mean, if she wants to, that's fine. But, like, Momo and Midnight don't really have that much of a relationship that we've seen on screen either. It would be, like Midnight Creati. That'd be cool, but I don't know. It depends. It depends on if the author wants to be sentimental on that one. Wouldn't mind if he is, though. Oh, guys, you know what? I just realized we had to get a get out of jail free card. Oh, God.
Evil conquering. Here. Worthless.
See, these things are not the only people that can jump. I can also jump. Oh, god damn it. I got hit again. Thank God for Barb. Oh wait, what am I doing? That was not the best move here.
I'll protect you.
Send that over here. Uh-oh. Come on, guy, die. Yay, we did it! Let's see. Are you talking about the upcoming? Okay, let's see. Yeah, the political stuff in isekais. Oof. Missed a few. The political stuff in isekais really isn't everyone's bread and butter. I mean, many dropped season 3 a lot because it was more political and less adventuring in action. The abnormal status effect isekai manga got up to the part where the MC kills a certain person. Plus, the risque costume designs mean she's the only one fit to take on the name. I wonder if Momo sees that she has a risque design. They always ask Izuku, what's the plan? No one ever asks Momo anything. That's a... Oh, come on, Leela. You know that's not completely correct. You know that during the Class 1A versus 1B fight, they asked Momo what the plan was. You know that Midnight told Momo to come up with a plan. Like, that's more... Like, come on. They all listen to Momo when things are going down. Shoto 100% would stand Momo. Oh yeah, Tai. Yeah, I am. I've just been slow on it. But yeah, I'm gonna do a video for Moonlit Fantasy. Turns out, like I think I said last week, but I did read the manga for that series, so I did know the manga. Let's see. Trip Zoro Asura, he disintegrate attacks. With it, do you think that he can't cut the bird cage? No, I don't think Zoro can cut bird cage. If he could cut it, he would have done it. I don't think he can. Momo is my Dobby. Fair enough, Leela. Also, check out Fan Week in Man Isekais. They're doing the Teapot event in Genshin again. The Teapot. Okay. Oh, no, right. It's fair. 100%. Your Dobby would 100% be all for one. I say Jiro is a good person to take out first. You could track him through the smoke. Oh, you know what? That's a good idea. That's a good idea, yeah. Usually good info on them. Okay, let's see. I love everyone's reaction to Rimuru being friends with Aldura. Rohan, did you see the first episode of Moonlight? I like the opening. In universe, the League loves Dobby. He can do no wrong. Yeah, but that's because they don't know the wrong that he does. Momo wear old Midnight costume in honor of Midnight. Let's see. I felt bad for the MC in Moonlit Fantasy. The goddess was quite the B towards the MC without giving any context to why she is. It's because he's ugly. I'm pretty sure, like, when I read the light novel from Moonlit Fantasy, and I'm pretty sure, like, it was a lot more annoying in the novel. Like, cause, like, that was a lot. It was, like, Tsukuyomi, I think, had more scenes, and I think there was more stuff going on with the girl. Maybe I should do a comparison series for Moonlit Fantasy, actually, because it was going pretty fast. Oh, let's see. Yeah, threw him up because she thought he was ugly. I need to know that Compress is okay, and I want to see and learn more about Mustard because he was a middle school student. Yeah. Yeah, they asked Momo what the plan was on the ape, and guess what? They lost. Suyu is a better leader and strategist than Momo. Yeah, no, I agree, Milila. Like, I agree. Like, you know how I feel about when people are giving Momo propaganda, but that's my point. There's Momo propaganda. Because of the Momo propaganda, that's why, like, there's not going to be a lot of Izuku propaganda. Oh, thanks, Leela. I'm only good at them when it comes to Dobby. I've noticed how Isekai isn't too far along chapter-wise, so not sure it's ready to get an anime. Well, if you want to know something funny, Gohan, the full dive RPG that's actually the shittiest game, that thing came out with only 3 light novels out, and the manga adaptation had only started in January when we got the anime airing, like, what, in April? So, like, think about that. From January to April, you have an anime, right? Like, weirder things have happened, Gohan. They even added Tangle and Whisper from the current IDW comics, but I've never met anyone who plays it. Oh, okay. Trip, do you think Luffy will fight Shanks? I think that would be cool. Just like as a graduation type thing. I think it'd be cool. Don't know if it'll actually happen, but I'd be in.
Let's play.
Yeah, let's take them all out, boys.
Leave it all to me.
Oh man, Venti's gonna be so good on this one, Prower. Like it's, oh yeah, Venti's ready. Venti's ready. Let's just heal up with Noelle first, and then we'll unleash Venti. It's gonna be hilarious. Oh man, this is gonna be so good. Oh god, this is gonna be the best. Venti's just gonna swallow them all up like nothing. I mean, look at that storm, boys and girls. Look at that. Oh, this guy's alive. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter. He's gonna die anyway. Oh, and Venti's already charged back up. Oh, this is great. Okay, we'll just go in and just use it up. Okay, where's the other guys? 6 out of 11. Oh, there you are. Okay, so let's gather up.
Time for takeoff.
Oh, oops. Kind of screwed that one up. Uh-oh. Screwed the timing on that one.
Higher, higher, pants on fire. Yahoo! As a good
Oh, that might have been also a bad use of stuff. Oh, didn't realize this girl was here. Probably deal with her. Oof. Noelle.
I missed a spot. Leave it all to me.
Let's just break through her shield first. Okay, this is going to be a little bit more annoying than I thought. Where is she? Oh, good God. Okay. Venti, go for it.
Think you can get away?
Okay, that's what we wanted. Oh, that looks so good. Look at all those numbers.
Brace yourself.
Oh, wow, she survived that somehow. Huh. That's interesting.
Yahoo! Higher, pants on fire.
So let's do this again.
Time for takeoff.
Well, that might have been a bad move in general.
Steady as stone.
Good. Oh, good God. Must be those little thingamajigs. Okay. Okay.
Let's play.
Do 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 do.
I must, as a dutiful maid would.
Going towards the little bat over there, and I'm not hitting it.
Wouldn't gliding think you can get away?
Okay, this one slowed me down just because I should have been a little bit more careful about that. Okay, that's broken. I'll read your guys' comments in a quick second.
Freeze.
1 second. Just gonna keep going.
Don't get frostbite.
Oh no. Oh God, the birds. Come on, just die. Come on, just die, just die, just die. Oh, damn it. Okay.
Time for takeoff.
Huh. This one might take a little bit too long here for me. Well, I'm not getting good starts on this one. Oh, Viz Trio showed up as well. Hey, Viz. Alright, cool. So, let's see. There's a tower building, RPG Isekai. I want to see get an anime as well, partly because the MC shows his wife through a lot of affection. That one. But does Zoro need to fight Shanks? Because doesn't he like fight all 4 people before Mihawk? He doesn't need to fight all of them. I get it. Momo has propaganda, but her eyes are trash. It's okay, guys. You can say a big boob chick sucks. She's not real, so no harm admitting that she has no substance. Oh well, Leela, as you know, we constantly rag on Momo. Let's see. They are lucky Izuku doesn't have Air Force. Fight would have been very short. Imagine at a Suda 100. Yeah, I mean like Izuku could still use a finger flick the same way he did against Shoto. Mostly because Mihawk doesn't have a crew. What is? Let's see. Yes, Matthew, that would be kind of rough. Hey Trip, there's another Shonen Chill episode I'd like to hear you talk about. Oh, it doesn't chafe me as much as the first one I asked, but I do want to hear your thoughts on what they said. The latest one. Okay, can you just give me the link for that one, Viz? Or just, like, what was the name of the channel for that one again? Just type the name of the channel. What would have been interesting if Izuku fought the class at night against Tokoyami? That would have been different. So what part of it annoy you most in the latest episode? Oh, okay, Chris is asking about that. Now I think about it, I probably have like 8 manga I would have liked to see get an anime. One I recently picked up is getting one. Oh, that's good, Mohan. If I am not feminist because I love sexy female. I love Midnight, probably because she's sexually liberate. I love Mirko. Yes. Momo. Oh no, that's okay, Leela. I didn't think you were a feminist or anything like that. I just thought you were a cool person. Let's see. It appears that it's actually night at the moment. At least going off the dark powdering on the... Wait, is it actually night? Zenrato. Oh, thank ya. Thank ya. Thank ya, Viz. Is it actually nighttime? I was looking at that, but I thought it was just like an overcast day. Actually, didn't we already see, didn't Tokoyami bring out Dark Shadow? I think he did. So let's check. 319. Yeah, no, Dark Shadow's there. So Dark Shadow is out, and he doesn't look that empowered. So it might be like he's getting a little bonus from the darkness. But if you look at the Dark Shadow there, that doesn't look like chaotic Dark Shadow. That doesn't look like out of control Dark Shadow. I mean, it doesn't look like the Dark Shadow that we saw destroying the Villain League. And so that might not... So he might not be at full power on that one. Going off page 15... Okay, it looks like it's night, or at least appears to be quite dark. I do agree with White Despair that it does look to be a little bit dark. I didn't even realize on that one. Good catch. And give me a quick second, Viz, and I will check it out after... Oh, Jesus Christ. After I deal with this. Oh, Jesus Christ. God, these people are the worst. Damn it. And I guess that means that Buddy Girl wasn't cooled down. Oh, having to go through that fight again will be horrible.
Disappear.
Oh, I hate these things so much. We'll retry. I don't know, Omar. Severus or something? Ship Momo X Dobby? Okay, Leela. Okay, Leela. Sure. That's gonna be a wicked case of NTR for Shoto. Trip, do you think that manga that has a Demon Lord, MC, and an elf will get anime someday? Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think especially in this day and age, I think it's likely to happen, man.
Oh, so sorry.
I must leave no stone unturned. Here we go.
This time, we're gonna do it right. Do 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 do.
As a good night should. Brace yourself. Think
There
you
we
can
go.
get away?
Oh, excellent. numbers.
Don't get frostbite.
Okay, let's see. So this girl's gonna appear here. Okay, there you are.
Time for takeoff. Leave it all to me.
Come on, we gotta get her. We gotta. Oh, damn it! She already got her stupid thing up. Damn it!
Doesn't hurt.
Where's this guy? If we don't take him out, he's gonna be annoying. Oh, if Mina does die, who would die in her place? Like, I know this, but I thought I'd ask anybody. Oh, probably no one. Like, there's no one really worth killing at that point, and there was no one else really in the area to kill. So, maybe Cementos. Maybe Cementos. If you wanted to take someone out, probably Cementos would be the next one. Or I guess 13 if you wanted to take someone out. Okay.
Let's play. Time to clean up. Think you can get away?
Man, so many special effects. Oh, she does it again.
Oh, so sorry. Dodge this.
Brace yourself. I must leave no. Time for takeoff.
Okay, good. We took her out. I think we're going to be able to beat her a little bit earlier this time. The thing that I found absolutely hilarious in the chapter was the flashback of Uraraka getting accepted, that she's crying tear joy. Her mother has her phone up, taking a photo of her. Yeah, that was adorable. Like, I like that Horikoshi thought he had to shove that in there. It's like, I don't understand what you're trying to say in this moment, Horikoshi. I mean, I understand what you're trying to say, but it's like, it didn't add anything other than saying like, ah, yes, they accepted us into this school. Oh my gosh. I mean, like, the idea that UA takes care of its students, that's already been in the, like, that's already, like, it's just like, it was such a weird moment to just squeeze an Ochako thing in there, because it's just like, yeah, we know you care. You took these kids into the dorms, for Pete's sake. Okay, I'm being mean, but it's just like, there was a, like, that scene, I still thought it was interesting that it was included. Thank you for bringing it up, White Despair. I do love ragging on Ochako. And just, well, no, I like ragging more on, like, the author's handling of what he thinks is important to show for Ochako. I mean, like, I guess that's, like, on point for Ochako. Her realizing that Nezu actually cares about his students. Who would have thought? It's not like this guy moved heaven and earth to make sure that the kids could still have an autumn festival. And it's not like this guy moved heaven and earth to make sure these kids would be protected on campus in dorms. It's not like this guy just built dorms over the course of a few weeks for all those kids. Yeah, Ochako, right? Like, that's just stereotypical Ochako, just slow on everything. Going off page, let's see. Drip, do you think... Okay, got that. If Tokuyama controlled Darkshire at night, then exhausted Izuku might lose. Agreed. I like the romance in it. Also, battles are very clever fights. Dempsey isn't the strongest. Themos has used his mind. But how the hell does Big Mom get impregnated? Oh, Omar. Big Mom used to be a lot hotter. Hey, Chip. Okay, got that. Okay, got that. The fact that Hu Tao is literally on fire and isn't given the pyro element as a cleanse, so she can't frozen, is infuriating to look at. Yes. I guess Uraraka's mom just really likes pictures of her daughter crying. Oh, well, you know, that's how parents get when people are emotional. Group, I have a question. Why are heterosexual ships not popular? Why are homosexual ships so popular? I don't get it. As a woman, I'm sorry, but I don't want my man to be with other men. Leela, you're asking a question that we are all trying to figure out. Nah, Leela, it's just like, I think it's important to realize that gay pairings are kind of fetishized on a particular portion of the fan base. And the other thing to realize too is that females statistically, like young females statistically, are more likely to write fan fiction. They're more likely to be predisposed to these type of things. And mind you, sorry, I am only quoting the statistics. Sorry, statistics have been observed. User statistics, like who populates a platform, those metrics are out. Like I know my metrics. I can tell you with full confidence that 80% of the Tripl-L viewers are young adults, or sorry, young males between 18 to 35. That is just a fact of the matter. And traditionally, my most the most of my female viewership comes from the shipping videos. So the statistics are there. Girls are predisposed to this type of stuff. They're more likely, in the same way that women are more likely to read romance than men are. The female population is more likely, or the female fans are more likely to write the fan fiction. And within that group, there are the group of them that fetishize gay relationships. And that's why the male on male relationships might be big. Now, mind you, again, I'm being very careful here. I'm saying likely. Likely does not say all. It just means an observable amount. That is all that number, that word is there to say. We're talking about the observable amounts. It's just coming from that. And there might be a bigger point about people not having the experience to know what a healthy relationship looks like, and they like the idea of a healthy relationship, but they like, that's why they go after the male pairings. But it's complex. Ultimately, it's fangirls. I just find it hilarious how close the phone is to Ochako's face. Here's an invincible meme for next chapter. Izuku watched struggle to hit and damage. Izuku, look what they have to do to mimic a fraction of my power. Oh god. Then after Izuku says that horrifying thing, the track to Bakugo takes him out in one punch. You need to leave Uraraka alone and rag on Momo. I mean, look, I rag on Momo when it's time to rag on Momo. Like, I don't rag, like, Momo's not around enough for me to rag on her. In the same way that Dobby, when he's not around, I can't really rag on him. Oh, don't worry, sorry, I wasn't asking you. I was asking Viz. I just don't get it because all the people she had kids with can just walk into her. No, Omar, she was different when she was younger. 50 Shades of Grey is definitely female fan fiction. Still wondering how that got multiple movies. Oh no, Ty, it's pretty simple. It drew the female demographic. You have to you have to consider that for marketers, they do like being able to target the female audience. So if they find a product that can do that, they will cater to that audience. I think, like, what's the critical market segments nowadays? It's 18 to 35, I believe. I think that's like the segment that most advertisers want to target. Yeah. Oh, Matthew makes a really good point here too, Leela. Like, he's right. There's more content for male ships, because the boys in shonen, they tend to get more developed relationships. Like, and when I say relationships, I mean friendships. They tend to get more developed friendships than the girls, and that leads to people wanting to believe that there's something to it, and it's not just a really charged friendship. That's just kind of how it goes. My only real hope is that every fanfic girl that writes her slash pairings or whatever, I can only hope that they all have futures as novelists, and I can only hope that they all go on to write wonderful novels. Yo, Viz, what's the timestamp for that video you want me to watch, man? Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, man. Some people take it too far. Like, don't take it too far. Just be a reasonable person. The guy from Jujukai has the right idea about women. Well, I do like how he goes about doing I feel it's fair. I do kind of wish all his characters were a little bit deeper, but I think I'm gonna check out the Jujutsu light novels because maybe that's where you have some deeper character work going on.
Think you can bully me? Look at you.
Let's see.
Boring.
God, I hate these things so much. I can't wait to kill them.
With the wind.
Think you can bully me? La, 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 la.
Oof. Come on. Okay, great.
Evil conquering.
Let's see.
Here.
Oh, but Viz, are you still there, man? Oh God, Viz, I hope you're here. I'm trying to remember from I was part of. In order for Midnight to return in either the anime after she died, she would have to turn evil. Not necessarily. She doesn't have to turn evil, but you'd either have to fake her death. Like at the end of the day, faking her death is the important thing here. If you want to bring her back. In the anime, you could bring her back if you're doing like a past story arc or something like that, but it wouldn't be a real bring back. But like it's either like at the end of the day, it's not that she has to be evil, but you have to fake her death. Either that or you bring her back as a normal if you really want to hurt people. Oh, you know what? I now remember why it was that I...
Let's dance.
Oh God. This might actually not work out for me.
Disappear.
Oh, never mind. I can shred. Zhao shreds through shield. Oh, thank God for Zhao. Ooh, something happened. Oh, someone subscribed. Oh, great. 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 Oh yeah, no, Prower. It's cause like there's too much, man. Like I tried going into it, but it's like there's so much, and I was just like I don't know if I know enough of the lingo here. It's just a lot, man. It was legitimately just so much. But like the Sonic community would probably be a gold mine for me. It's just so much, man. It's so much.
Can't handle your dream.
125 to 150. And for Shoten and Shield episode for Hero Academia. Oh, 131 to... It's at 131.22. Oh, shoot. Alright, good. I just beat that one. Okay, Viz. Let me pop that open. So glad I was able to beat that spiral level. I wonder if I'm going to be able to do all three of them today. What time is it? Oh, oh God, it's 11 o'clock. So 131.22. Okay, this time I have ad block on, and it's not because I hate these guys. I do. I really, really do. They get more views than me. But it's not because I hate them. It's just because like the ads last time were a little bit aggressive. Let's see, My Hero Academia. I hope I'm on the right one. Oh goodness, no, that's not it. Cool, there we go. Oh, good. Alright, let's check this out. Let's see what's going on. Oh, see, I go in rogue. Well, you just gotta focus on one at a time. I don't think they could bear in mind that Sonic is shipped with nearly... Just don't ever make a shipping video with him and Eggman or a kid. Well, Trip, look at my message on why and how I almost lost my vision. Omar, did you write something? Oh, the other day I wanted that because I saw some picture a girl made of Baku riding Deku, and I just wanted to bleach my eyes. Oh, rest in peace, man. I'm trying to. Okay, got that. Well, just know while I know you're to me, it will never work out. I wouldn't like you doing the liberating things I do when I'm at. Oh, gotcha, Leela. Thanks for your consideration. All right, let's see. Ocean is my favorite. Oh, that's good, Leela. Okay, Leela. Now I'm bothered. Your favorite? Oh, okay. Well, whatevs. Let's see. So I'm at 130.
It's like starting to cry, and then it's like, nope, Smash is here. Everything is even.
Wait, did I get the right one? I might have not got the right one. Sorry, I think I might have got the wrong one, Viz. 130, 122. Oh no, we're still not there. Okay.
Probably not gonna be okay because there's absolutely no reason Matt. You don't know Matt, so you can't dispute me. So we're gonna talk about My Hero Academia next.
Oh, thanks, Viz.
I really appreciate how, you know.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're all clear. Academia. Academia. That's how it's pronounced in other parts of the world. I don't know why we pronounce it academia. Academia. I feel like if you go to an academic conference and you call it academia, I think a particular portion of the audience is gonna laugh at you. I think because it depends. It depends. If you're in a philosophy conference, they probably are gonna laugh at you, but they laugh at everyone. Man, you say one wrong thing and they're gonna laugh at anyone.
The course of this podcast.
Man, if you make an argument about tabula rasa or anything else, they're gonna laugh at you. Okay, good.
Yeah, we started out never having talked.
It's a little quiet. All right. So let's go through here. Oh, Miguel, he made a video about masculinity in My Hero. I haven't watched it though. Oh, what do you like? Are you talking about Oceanus? Or Oceans? Oh, it's getting closer. Oh, okay. Let's see. Jason said Oceans is Zenrato is a JJK shield and it has very bad takes on My Hero Academia. Okay. Well, yeah, I imagine that Oceans is good at analysis because like Miguel likes him, and so does Leela. Oh, thanks, Leela. Thanks. It's okay, Leela. You can have other favorites. I don't really mind. I think you're cool though, Leela. You're definitely my favorite Leela. That's for sure.
Because that's the thing I dropped in the Discord the other day, where I was like, they were like, so how did show?
Yo. I also didn't realize today was Wednesday. It's still Tuesday for me. Let's see. Yeah, Viz, let me know if it's good now. It should be at -19.
And she'll start. Were you like friends before? I'm like, nah, we never really talked before. He hit me up on Twitter. and
Pretty
we did
much,
it.
yeah. We were like casual acquaintances on Twitter where we would like rib each other now and again. And,
Yeah.
And that was like it. And then Neo and I
Yeah.
were playing Monster Hunter, and Neo was like, "Hey, we should do this with Oceans," and I was like, "Okay."
My only casual acquaintances on the internet are you guys. And maybe like other old anime YouTubers I started off with, but it's mostly you guys.
Yeah.
And then we made those like 2 videos with your Monster Hunter series, and then Neo was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm out." I was like, "Okay." He was like, "I'm too stressed to record videos like that," and I was like, "All right, bet." So yeah, we just kind of like existed, and then I was like, "Hey, do you want to talk about comics?" And now we
Yeah.
rail against the capitalist machine.
Yeah.
Fizz, is this what you wanted? A little louder should be fine. You wanted me to hear about their origin story? I mean, like, I guess it's a cute origin story. When are they getting married? I mean, like, this is clearly what's gonna happen. If it was fangirls writing this, we would definitely be seeing wedding bells in the future. Good night, random. Oh, thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. I ain't a complete fanboy, so your takes then to a nice middle ground of hype and logic. Yeah. I'm glad you like that. I'm glad you like that. I always wonder if hype is something I need in my videos, but I just can't get hyped. Mind you, I like you guys because you guys tell me when I'm wrong, or you challenge my opinions, which I really appreciate. Let's see. I'm just trying to make it a little bit louder here for Viz. Alright, so we're gonna go to like -10.
What I was gonna say is I appreciate that we've gone from like very tangential acquaintances to you being able to pinpoint my absolute inability with numbers.
Yeah, it's my my go-to move in my back pocket. Where if I need to get out of a discussion about my hero, I'm just gonna start putting math problems down and watching you short circuit.
Okay.
That's okay. I'm just gonna quote retweet any take you have on MHA and watch the people who follow me do the rest.
Well, I think the people who follow you shit on you just as much as
Oh, that's irresponsible.
That is true, but I can direct them at least somewhat. I may get my hands burned, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta.
It's like the end of Avatar when Zuko catches his
Mark, same for
lightning
you.
and manages to shoot it off, but he's still.
Same for you in regards to like casual acquaintances. Yeah, I'm okay with just you guys as my casual acquaintances. I'm also good at giving suggestions. Yes, Gohan, you're lovely. Let's see. Let's see. There were some things throughout that you'd miss if we did skip. That's okay. I'll just go through it. How long is the My Hero Academia section? Oh good God. It's it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Oh, burned up on the ground. That's you. You're just
Interesting,
laying there
Jason.
with this big Twitter scar on your chest, but you still shot the lightning back at me.
We'll
Look,
just
man, sometimes you just have to sink the ship to kill a guy, even if you're on
we'll
it as
just
well.
speed through their banter and we'll just look at the
Sometimes you just have
actual
to point the
points of
cannons
merit.
downwards. That's how this works. So anyway, what were we going to talk about?
My
No,
hero
I haven't
is
seen
actually what we're
Alila.
talking about now.
Huh. Okay. Well then, Mrs. Zenerato, why don't you start?
I think that everything about it. Well, I don't like chapters that are predominantly flashback, but that's just a personal thing. I feel like it's you don't need to do that much. But
Oh.
it was a fine flashback, so it's like.
You know what's interesting? That series by the Hero Academia assistant, that the Red Riding Hood based like grim fairy tale series. You know what's interesting? The third chapter opens with a flashback. This guy, when I saw that third chapter opening with a flashback, first thing I thought, like, if this is Horikoshi's assistant, this guy picked up that style. Guy, that series is gonna fail. Like, there's no way around it. I really think that series is gonna fail. I don't know how quickly it's gonna fail, but that I think Horikoshi might have screwed over that author, picking up starting the story with a flashback, like a long flashback too, for a chapter when you're only in your third chapter. No, man, I don't know about that. I don't think that's a good move. Like, that's what Hero Academia does now, but I don't think that's a good move for an early series. So it's just funny that they're talking about it. If you guys want to know, like, when it comes to like the Amazon side of things and like putting out novels, it looks like people actually don't really like flashbacks that tell you what happened in a scene before, like try to give you some kind of they don't tend to like it when you open a chapter and you go into a flashback to explain what happened, to justify a point in the chapter. It's really interesting. There's a few things that novel readers get really particular about and then bomb your reviews over. Just worth pointing that out there.
Not a big deal. I like the stuff about Bakugo being like, you people are fucking stupid, and you're not thinking this through, and I'm the best, and I know for a fact that if you let the two of these people go off on their own, it's going to be unhealthy for both of them because they don't have anyone balancing out their shittier aspects. That was.
Yeah, I agree. I like that Bakugo called them out for being very unaware of how things are going here.
Very mature thing for the loudmouth idiot character to say, and it was nice to see, like.
So just like remember, like Bakugo and his Bakugo's never an idiot. Bakugo's not an idiot. Like, he's never been an idiot. Bakugo is sheer competence. Bakugo is intelligent. Bakugo is intelligent from the first moment. It's him and Izuku who got into UA. Bakugo is super intelligent. We've known that since USJ. He's not an idiot. It's just like the exaggeration of his character type makes it a little bit worse.
You know. I don't know. It was wholesome. It was cute. It was sweet. I like it. The panel where they all show up, super cool. Great panel. The panel where Deku is laying on the ground and he's like, I'm good. Get out of here. And then Bakugo's like, fuck you, idiot. And then I just don't like how Deku was immediately like, well, I asked them to leave one time and they did not. I guess it's time for me to fucking kill them.
I agree with that, actually. Like, Izuku saying, like, guys, get out of my way, or else. It's like, you could have played this a little bit chill. right? Like Izuku could have been like, "Oh yeah, okay guys, yeah sure, let's go home." And then when they all have their backs turned, Izuku runs away. I mean, like, if Mr. Compress was able to kidnap Bakugo and Tokoyami when they were behind Shoji, I'm pretty sure Izuku could run away when everyone else is looking forward. I mean, if they were smart, they'd put themselves in the middle, but then Izuku can figure something out. But to that point, like the situation with Izuku and the kids facing off, that's just like that's story. What do we call it? Story speeding. Like at this point, there's a few techniques that occurred in the chapter that were there specifically to move the plot along. Like the author just wants to get through this. He doesn't want to get bogged down. And unfortunately, when it comes to Shonen Jump, a fight is a very fast way of resolving conflict.
All of the friends I'm trying to save did not remove after 1 second. All right, cracks knuckles, snaps
Yeah.
two of Araka's ribs.
Like the next chapter's cover page is him impaling Mineta with like his arm through his chest. You know, the only
So
way
that's
someone
it.
dies in anime.
And see, I wouldn't mind this as much if it was either like only Bakugo or maybe like Bakugo, Todoroki, and Ida or something. But like, you're telling me that this entire class is here, and they're like, "Hey, we're here to help you," and he's gonna be like, "Well," black whip around the throat. Like, are you fucking serious?
Okay, let me read your guys' comments. Let me just read your guys' comments. You know what I noticed with Sakura? She's at younger age, already a better character. Sakura, let's see. You should play my Villain Academia video, but instead you will love it. Sakura in part 1 is the worst character I've seen in the acts. No Trip, don't speak into this. I need more Grim before they cancel it. Flashback every 3 chapters of the manga. Why would you skip an event if you're going to flashback it regardless? Yes. It's just like it's the timing with which you show off the information. He thought Deku wanted to fight Class A. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. No. Izuku doesn't want to fight Class A. Like, Izuku just wants to move on. Some people hated Bakugo for doing that, claiming he has no right as he bullied Izuku. Oh, yeah, no, we're past that. Let's see. I posted chat. Let's see. Things like when Bakugo says, I know them better than Endeavor, and they say, yeah, bullying a person. I mean, but yeah, like that doesn't take away that he still knows them better. It's been a full year now. Deku knows they need to be put down, just like they know Deku needs to be put down. Hody wants to end Hero Academia, and it's being paced that way. Another thing I like about Eren is your writing background. Oceans has some background in psychology. I don't know how extensive though. Oh, that's cool. Sometimes I think I want to go back to psychology, but like, I don't know, man. Like, if I go back to school, I might go either psychology, archaeology, or teaching, maybe. Because I've heard that this is interesting. I don't know, Leela, do you know anything about this on your side? But I heard that there's a shortage of male teachers, like in Canada, and there's a shortage of physics male teachers. So I don't know if that's the same, like if there's any kind of demographics in your area, Leela. But anyway, interesting to know about oceans.
I was perfectly fine with, 1, this confrontation happening, and even 2, with them fighting, but I was not okay with Deku being the aggressor in the situation, because I don't think it's set up well enough that it shouldn't make any sense to him to be like, I have to keep these people safe. I'm gonna put them in the hospital so they can't follow me anymore. Like, if he was trying to get away and he was like, fucking leave me alone, like, do not be here, I don't want you here, and they were like chasing him down, and so finally he was like, get away from me, and he like went back at them, I'd have been okay with that. Like, if he was willing to fight to get away, that's a different thing. But how did you come to the conclusion of like, oh, it's the girl I like and my best friends? Stretches arms, cracks knuckles, punches.
Okay, I see what you guys are saying. So I'm looking at the pages right now. Is those pages where Izuku's saying, but I'm fine. He says, so don't worry and get away from me. Bakugo taunts him, and then Izuku's like, those smiles, everyone's peace of mind. Those are the reasons I need to keep going. So get out of my way. You know what's interesting here is that there's not, like, we're assuming Izuku's going into a fight because he gets into a fighting pose, but get out of my way is just flat out, I'm just going to push my way past you. And I think Seth already said it. Yeah, I think Seth already said, I think you guys all said it. This situation is really unclear. And it's funny that we're talking about the flashbacks, but like, really, there's nothing, like, they're complaining that this happens so quickly. This is Hero Academia since like chapter 300. Hero Academia shows something occurring first, and then next chapter will be the information, like the context. So I'm not sure. Like even in next chapter, we might have Izuku narrating in his head as we see the panels unfolding why exactly he feels okay dealing with them. Mind you, I too want to know how Izuku's rationalizing it, but given Horikoshi's style, there's no reason to believe that he would not have a rationalization happen in the chapter after the cliffhanger, because that's just what he does at this stage in the game. Yeah, no, this looks pretty. This feels pretty neutral. Like when Izuku's facing them, like there's also like the fact that Izuku knows these people. And again, that get out of my way is just flat out Izuku telling them, please go away. So that's still not Izuku's probably gonna neutralize, but he's probably not gonna seriously wound. But again, I think probably we have a rationalization coming in the next chapter. YouTubers are people like all of us. I appreciate different takes from different lenses, but the only lens that really matters is Horikoshi's. Not really. Well, yeah. Right now, like it's 80% Horikoshi and 20% Shonen Jump editor. Like, you know, the Hero Academia team, his lens is the one that matters. Although you could say like there's other lenses, right? There's the anime's lenses of what they think is correct to do, and the anime's lenses should be criticized. But that's for like different stuff. But that's a really interesting point, Seth. Canada has a shortage of everything. It's also cold as hell, yes. This is where I felt a little, since he assumed Izuku already fought them. Leah says there's a shortage of teachers everywhere, especially STEM teachers and of course males. Okay, so it's you're affected too. Okay, Deku's traumatized. It's either he beats them or All for One destroys them. Yes, very true. Let's see. With the Demon Lord MC, I didn't. Okay, yes. Izuku was not one to hit civilians controlled by a dictator. Naruto, he's gonna hit his friends. He's probably gonna like. It's probably just gonna be hazing, right? Like Izuku has many ways to neutralize without seriously hurting them. Like he has many ways to get away from them too without hurting them. What everyone is scared of might be maybe Izuku ends up making a scar in Baku's face, and everyone starts again with Baku being the second holder theory. God, I hope not. Oh, in terms of analyzing plot, I mean, oh, okay, gotcha.
Peanut through 3 buildings. Like,
Gotcha.
He looks at Uraraka, and then he like pulls out his wallet, and out of it comes like a framed picture of Dobby, and he's like, "This is for you."
Man, if a framed picture of Dobby comes out of
we
anywhere.
revealed that at the war,
God.
Deku learned one thing, and it was why women deserve less.
Okay, but like I don't actually have a problem with this, and the reason is you mentioned that you'd have been fine with this if this was Deku trying to just do his thing, and they come and chase after him, and he has to kind of like try to get them away from him. I honestly think that is still what's going to happen, because the dialogue in here, Deku doesn't say I'm gonna fuck you up. Really, he just says get out of my way. I want to keep doing my thing. It's them who then say okay, let's do this. And I do get that the final pages are very much set up as like the classical fighting time. But I will say I'm still holding out for the next chapter to essentially be Deku trying to maneuver around them and get away from them. Because I do agree, it makes no sense for him to start attacking them. Like, I've seen a lot of people talk about how this is the arc where we get to see Deku's self-destructive side. And I agree, that is a big part, and I'm so happy that that's finally being addressed. In the war arc, you had the first One for All user saying that he's obsessed with justice. And it's like, that's not a positive word to use, and now we're seeing why he used that word. But I also don't think that he's at the point, as you said, where he would hurt his classmates willingly. So to me, what this setup seems to suggest is that next chapter we're going to get a chase rather than a fight, and then perhaps a short fight between him and Bakugo and maybe, the main goons.
It's funny because like the chase would make a lot of people irrelevant. There's not many people that can actually follow. So like if you're doing a chase, like maybe your best shot is to have Seiro tape everyone to Bakugo and have Uraraka neutralize their weight, and that's the only way that you could have a chase with everyone actually being able to follow Izuku if Izuku Fajin's out of there. Like Izuku's faster than a speeding bullet. Yeah, like that's probably the only way you're gonna have like a really long chase. They're better off trying to trap Izuku.
But also, I am not completely in disbelief at the fact that Deku might get violent sooner than he might want to, because I think it was like 1 or 2 chapters ago we saw Deku like roaming the countryside, eating protein bars, like trekking to the forest. Like that kid has been on his own for God knows how long at this point. So I wouldn't be super miffed if like he is more jumpy than usual. But as you said, I definitely agree with that. That he definitely shouldn't go around just fucking murking people at this point. Like that's giving yourself to pure Kino and swag.
Yeah, he went from 0 to 100. Like, why are you guys here? We're worried about you. I'm okay. hey, are you smiling right now? Get the fuck out of my way. And he's like covered in lightning, like he's like powering up to, and I mean, part of it is maybe just like, oh, he looks like a fucked up movie, like horrible monster.
Oh, so Zenrato has 100% been swayed by the image. Like the way he's talking about, yeah, he's 100% been swayed by the image.
And then Bakugo's line of like, do your worst implies that, oh, he's gonna come at me. I don't know, but it sure reads like he tried exactly not at all to get them to leave before he was like, all right, it's broken legs time.
Yeah, but honestly, again, to me, maybe that's just me trying really hard to like MHA because, oh my god, my dad watches my videos on him. But, you know, I think the way it's set up, him powering up his quirk doesn't even need to, it doesn't need to mean that he wants to hurt them. It can also just mean he wants to flee, because that's, I think, a cool thing about Black Whip, and all of his quirks really, that they're not exclusively combat quirks. Like, he could be activating Black Whip to try and get away from them, which is what I hope happens. Because again, I really don't want him to hurt anyone. Or if he does hurt anyone, for it to be sort of inadvertently or by accident. I don't know if those two things mean the same.
Inadvertently by accident. It can mean. Like, inadvertently means it just happens as a consequence of another action. Yeah, roughly the same. Roughly the same. If my English is correct. But if in the case that, just to address that, in the case that that Izuku hits someone by accident, that might be like, depending on how the author frames it, that could be the thing that stops Izuku from being stupid. If he hurts, for example, if Izuku was to rip off someone's arm, that's it. This whole Dark Izuku thing is over. Either that or Izuku like doubles down and runs away ashamed. But like this era of Dark Izuku, over. It's done. Because Izuku is gonna have a massive episode about that. Actually, like we should keep an eye on that one, because that might be like the penalty for Izuku. And then if that becomes a penalty, then it changes the entire equation.
So, you know, I'm fine with this. I kind of saw it coming. I felt like once Bakugo was there, we were either going to get a confrontation between him and Deku, or a confrontation with everyone. And for what it's worth, I am actually very happy to see the entire class show up, just to kind of...
Jason, I'll think about that. I'll think about who's the best candidate for the accidental.
see them do things, you know?
To
And
exist
I like that we
again
get...
in the narrative? Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, and you know, we get to see like the minor characters being like, hey, you know, we're just classmates, but it still fucks me up to see him gone, and we are heroes. And just like, it's interesting that it's implied that even characters that have like no screen time at all, people like fucking Koda, still have this internal conflict of like, I want to be a hero, but what does it mean for my heroic career if I just ignore a friend who goes off to fight the literal devil?
Let's remember, they're not just classmates. They live under the same roof. These people are cohabitants. These are roommates. They're cohabitants. That's a different kind of relationship. This is not just classmates anymore.
You know, it's not...
People form weird family units in times of stress and crisis, and the kids in UA have been in crisis for a very long time, given that the villains were coming after them.
I wouldn't say this is like a big focus or whatever, like it's not even really mentioned, but as an implication and as like a structural element within the story, I do really appreciate it. And you see, this is what I meant when I say I read MHA with a different eye than I read everything else. I could not tell you the shit about Elusive Samurai.
Yeah, that's fair.
To Ocean's point, there's not many other manga that actually gives this density of information compared to My Hero Academia. I've talked about this before, but if we're talking about manga with density of information, right now, like it's My Hero Academia right now, and then it would be it would have been Shokugeki no Soma back in the past. In terms of other things with density of information in the current era, not a lot. There ain't a lot. You might have a good time with... I'm trying so hard. Jujutsu sometimes, if they have a good chapter, sometimes. Black Clover at climaxes can do it. One Piece is like, it's too whimsical now. It doesn't matter anymore. Like going into One Piece, you're pretty much theory crafting on the world building, not anything else. But yeah, like when it comes to interpersonal relationships, it's pretty much Hero Academia, and it was Shokugeki no Soma. There are no other manga that really inspired this level of discussion. Jujutsu Kai does a different thing altogether. I'll look through the listings and tell you which other one. There might be one more that is actually worth looking at.
But yeah, like I really like this chapter. Like I also think the way the prose are framed is interesting, where it's like on the surface it looks like they're kind of leaving Deku to do his own thing, But the more you look back on the past chapters and also on Endeavor in this chapter, I kind of got the impression they just are out of ideas with him because they can't really contain him without just straight up resort to violence.
I agree. The pros are being brought down for this situation.
Understandably, they probably don't want to do.
Interesting, right? The pros aren't going to resort to violence, but the kids are, right? Nah.
And even All Might, who's like his big moral pillar, couldn't stop him from going down this path. So like, it's interesting to see that Endeavor kind of taking the opportunity to be like, well, we couldn't do it, and these kids seem determined, so they're gonna try something anyway. Might as well give them a lead.
Now see, like that rhetoric right there is what we were talking about earlier. He's might as well give the kids the lead, right? That level of futility, that's what the author did. He took away the agency from the pro heroes, when really, this is where the pro heroes should be like, we are the adults. We are going to fix the problem that we allowed to fester. But no, we're not well, again, we might see that corrected in the upcoming chapter.
Yeah, and I
Indirectly,
mean, I
just
agree
throwing a
that
stone.
that if anybody could do it, it would be them, right?
No.
Because he's got too much feeling tied up in All Might, right? Like, there's too much expectation and emotion and shit tied up in that, right? Like, obviously All Might's not going to be the one to be like, oh, well, actually, everything we've talked about for the past 3 years, nah, you can just take a break.
So he's saying that All Might's not going to be the person? No, this is insane. All Might has to be the person. Why? Because All Might already knows the consequence of not talking to someone who is like him, because he already learned what happened with Night Eye. You can't have All Might in the background being like like Night Eye, why didn't we talk earlier? You can't have All Might knowing the actual pain of regret of not being able to make amends with Night Eye, and then him not being able to put that lesson forward to Izuku. Mind you, this is hard because All Might's character, it's like Bakugo says, he is very much, Izuku and All Might are very much alike. But what All Might has that Izuku doesn't is All Might knows what the ramifications of this type of problem are. Being unable to say the things that need to be said, or being unwilling to listen to them. We cannot look at All Might as just he doesn't know what he's doing. No, All Might's 50 years old. It's an old man. We can criticize All Might because he knows full well what he's walking into.
Just vibe and have a bento box, you know? Like, it's
I really like ragging on All Might on this point for this particular reason.
not going to work out. And I think the class is the right people to do that. But I just need the next chapter to...
No, like, in terms of like rightness all depends on how the author builds it up. If the author wanted to, he could have gone in another direction, and he could have been like, if he focused on All Might, he could have been like, All Might could have been thinking like, I felt so much regret with Night Eye. Like, 20 years wasted because we couldn't talk, because we couldn't communicate. Because of our lack of communication, Night Eye, I only got to talk to him moments before dying. If you like reframed it, you could 100% make it so that All Might felt correct to go deal with it. And then you could have made some character arc about All Might finding the words, or like finding the ability to communicate when he couldn't do it in the past with someone that actually mattered to him.
To go the way I want it to go. Basically, I need the author to write only the story I would prefer, and not the one that he is making. And maybe it could be something cliche, you know, like he's trying to get away, and he.
I'll answer your guys'
accidentally
comments in a
hurts Uraraka
second.
the process, and that's when he like has this come to Jesus moment, and he snaps back or whatever, you know, like that cliche, but fine, you know. MHA has always kind of been like the series of rocking the cliches really, really well, you know. So that would be fine. But I just don't want it to be like, all right, I hope that Endeavor is on the other end of that GPS line, because you're gonna need somebody to take you to the fucking hospital after I snapped your ribs into your lungs, float girl.
Okay, he really likes breaking
Speaking of
Uraraka's ribs.
her facial expressions this chapter, my god, that girl is pissed.
Yeah, she's very upset, which is good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I like in general how upset they all seem. Like Todoroki, Bakugo, Uraraka, you can tell on all of their faces that they are hurt. Like they are genuinely upset at just how Deku's treating them, how he's treating himself. And I think it's the most striking with Uraraka because she's usually such a like emotionally straightforward person. So to see her just be like straight faced, like, Deku, you need to rest. We'll talk about this later. It's like, oh god, you know, it's
She
the kind
has
of shit
like
where
angry mom energy in this chapter.
yeah,
like,
it's
like
you know,
I'm very angry at you, but it's more important to help you first. So let's do that, and then I'm gonna.
You know the unfortunate thing? Like, I think they are right to be chasing after Izuku right now, but I think because of the nature of the Shonen Jump manga, I think at the end we might see Izuku going off on his own, like for the last arc, as being actually the right move. Like, we have rhetoric, but the needs of a Shonen Jump manga sometimes overweighs the correct thing. Um, it's where you have narrative and logical storytelling. It's the needs of the narrative versus the needs of the characters in the narrative. When those two things collide, things get kind of wonky.
Rip you a new asshole afterward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's yeah, like it's just upsetting as well, like as a longtime fan to see these characters here, right? Because it's interesting to see how much the story has put these kids through and how much they've changed through it, and not like in the, oh, they're also edgy now, but more like you can tell they're more adult now. You can tell that their experiences, probably especially the war, have sort of matured them in a way that is both saddening and satisfying to see. So yeah, I really like this chapter. You know, my number one My Hero fan thinks My Hero Academia was good this week. What else is new, right? So yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like people always play up anytime I say like anything negative. They're like, oh my god, this fucking person hates the entire series. When it was really like, this is a good chapter, but I'm worried about it.
Yeah, that's how it always goes, though.
I just don't. I don't know. I need Deku to not. Let me make sure I'm phrasing this correctly, lest I awake the fires of this 15-year-old hell.
Yeah.
No, awaken them.
I don't think that where we are has earned the I've lost sight of myself so much that I'm willing to hurt the thing I'm supposed to be doing this for yet.
That's
right?
That's hasty.
I don't think that what we have seen has been sufficient to get Deku to that point.
Yeah, because the thing is, and I already know the replies you might be getting to this, which is, oh, but we've seen him, you know, look this fucked up and all that. And it's like, yes, but time-wise, it just doesn't really work. Because at the end of the day, Deku has done this little, you know, quest for All for One for a little over 10 chapters now, and that just is a very short amount of time in the grand scheme of things. And you know, the manga can tell us, oh, it's been 3 weeks, it's been a month, whatever, but it doesn't really matter. To me as a reader, Deku has just not spent enough screen time in this state to justify him actively hurting someone.
So this is actually a really interesting point. This is, unfortunately, like, this is just flat out psychological effects. So this is where you have people who take more value from the impact of what they read versus people that take value from the impact of the logistics within what they're reading. And like, I'm being a little bit, I can't word it correctly, but it's pretty much just the difference between the impact and the logistics. So, you know, you can have someone say like, oh my god, yeah, this felt so short, and then you can have another person say, but what? No, this was like a month. This was happening over the course of a month. And so really in this situation, I do think that the one that ends up being more correct with their judgments is going to end up being the one that points out that there is actually an internal timeline that's being observed. But if you were to go and talk about, because like, if you evaluate a story based on what a story makes you feel, then the perception of only being in this for 10 weeks, that will be more important. But if you're going and you're talking about the logic of the story itself, you have to switch over to like the story's internal timeline. And when this kind of stuff happens, it depends on how you're reviewing it. If you're reviewing about like whether or not this was well executed, that's where you bring up Ocean's point about the whole situation, that it just doesn't feel real. Because that's a real great point for execution. But you would have to acknowledge that the author intended for this particular effect, or he intended for this to be the rationality. Even though for readers, we've only been in it for like, say, 3 weeks, for example. Izuku was in it for like 2 years, right? It's ultimately going to be a conflict between what the reader feels and what the reader knows. And when you get into that particular conflict, things will get really dicey, and this is where a lot of arguments will come out, because either you're a reader that focuses on the logic or you're a reader that focuses on the feelings. It's like Ocean's actually like bringing up a really good point here. Like, this is actually like a really good discussion point on whether or not this is a good idea. Because like, look, I think most of us, we can come to a point where we would be willing to say that maybe Hero Academia hasn't executed well on some things in this arc. I think we all have our gripes with it, and I think ultimately it comes down to issues of execution.
Accidentally is a completely different thing. Because what I would like to see is for him to, when trying to get away from them, just activate his quirk instinctively and hurt someone without wanting to. Because that would kind of tie into that whole thing of, you know, him just fighting endlessly. Where it's like, he has internalized the power to hurt so thoroughly that, you know, it just happens. So that's kind of the tightrope that I would like the story to walk, right?
For that point, he's talking about the tightrope and the power to hurt internalized. You gotta keep in mind that Izuku was very careful with the people that were being controlled, so Izuku still has really good judgment, at least on hurting
Where it
people.
doesn't go into, oh, violence is my only thing right now, I'm gonna hurt you. But it also kind of steers into that, I got used to fighting, and oh no, I fought too hard this time. What am I doing? It's a tough balance to strike, and I don't know if I'm properly explaining this, but that's kind of where I would like this to settle down at. But you know, it's My Hero Academia, and this arc has been really weird in that sometimes it's predictable and sometimes it's not. Like the fact that it showed Stain stalking All Might and then just cut away is the meanest fucking shit in existence. I hate that so much. Like that's a confrontation we've been wanting since forever, and they're just like, nope, you're not getting that. Here's Bakugo reuniting with his boyfriend.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I guess I've said most of my piece on it up to this point. Cancel Deku. He's a racist. He's a woman beater now. It's just cancel Deku. Hashtag cancel Deku.
Okay.
Hashtag he's smelly. He hates women, and his name starts with D. Damn,
Dobby.
Horikoshi is so tired of ripping off Naruto. He's starting to rip himself off. Out of 10.
He's talking about Dobby.
You hate to see it.
That's great.
Yeah, I just I don't know, man. I don't think I can support someone who thinks all aliens are villains and then thinks that women deserve less, that women shouldn't vote. What I'm getting from this chapter is that Deku thinks women shouldn't vote. That's what I'm pulling from this. He's
That's
very
the
anti-suffrage. Yeah, that's the takeaway from this.
Yeah, clip that, Toiny. You know who you are. Okay, so is the finale under?
Well, I guess Zenrato has his own sense of humor here. All right, let me just go back and make sure I go through all your guys' comments. Let's see. Who is a good candidate to take the accidental hit? I really think Mineta taking the accidental hit would be pretty funny, but maybe Shoto. Maybe Shoto gets his hand destroyed. Deku isn't going to seriously hurt anyone in the situation because unless it does. Ochako because women hurt bad. Also, they subdue Izuku and bring him back. Did that mean Stain was there to meet All Might and not Izuku? I guess so. Like, if Stain doesn't get involved, then that means Stain's closer to All Might. We might also get a Stain and Ida re-encounter in this period. Endeavor, I'm just done with that kid because the kids are on an equal ground as Izuku. They view him as an equal while the pros are treating Izuku as a kid. While the pros are adults treating a kid. Yeah, no, like, even, see, like, from my perspective, Miguel, saying that the pros are treating him as a kid, that makes it even more of just bad on the adults for not protecting a child. Like, Nezu is more correct in terms of the adults here, because he's the one saying, like, yeah, let's get Izuku back kind of thing. Again, like, if they're saying, like, maybe the kids will be able to break through to him, then sure, but, like, we're looking at really sentimental rhetorics at the end of the day. I like leaving it to the kids. It works for Shonen, but also pro heroes aren't going to stop Izuku. They don't have the relationship with Izuku that his friends do. Yo, you know, again, I understand for the purpose of a story, but, like, I don't care about a relationship. I don't care any which way about relationships. This is post-apocalyptic. If Izuku needs to be returned, take him down. But I think that's, like, the fundamental disconnect. I don't care about the relationships. Some of you do. The story cares about the relationships. But this is why I'm saying, like, this is propaganda for the kids, right? Like, it's being built up. And I mean, mind you, like, Miguel pointed it out earlier, right? Miguel said this is a teenage power fantasy. Like, I really am not gonna win if I'm arguing against teenagers being empowered in a teenage power fantasy. But yeah, no, like, personally, I don't care about relationships. Relationships don't really matter in this situation. Just stop him. I think Cody wanted an emotional approach, and the heroes wouldn't have been able to provide that. Agreed. I agree with that. Deku will just tell All Might that he has 7 more quirks than he does and brush him off. If Izuku did that, though, that would be good, because then we can criticize Izuku for being such an asshat. Like, if that happens, we criticize him flat out. That's all we do. And then that becomes a lesson for Izuku that no matter how much power you get, you're still a human. Like, we can turn many different things here into good rhetorics with a lot of payoffs. And that's to Horikoshi's credit. I was talking about it before. but Horikoshi has given himself a lot of possibilities here. If Horikoshi goes, I think right now Horikoshi could go down like the Izuku gets saved route. He can go down the Izuku hurts someone route. He can go down the Izuku gets away route. He can go down the Izuku and the kids compromise route. He can do any one of these routes, and there is so much stuff that can be used to justify each and every one of these routes. There are very little things that he can do to like do an ass pull, and most of the ass pulls right now are going to be coming from unknowns. Yeah, Horikoshi's done a really good job with the way outs he's given himself. What would you add if you lived with them? What vibe would you add if you live? Oh, I know how this goes. Yeah, no man, like I'd probably be just like the one guy that did like the funny things every now and again and just brought out like weird projects. I'm also an enabler. Whenever I lived in a house with 5 other guys, I was 100% an enabler. Like whenever someone had a crazy idea, we were doing crazy ideas. It's how we ended up burning one guy's eyebrows off. But yeah, man, like it'll work. All Might never learned his lesson the hard way. He pretty much got away by Reckless and ultimately was able to pass down before falling. So he's not genuinely experienced failure. He might know better now due to insight, but he hasn't actually. Yeah, no, like I could like Mio. I understand what you're saying there, and I kind of do agree with that. But he has experienced failure. Like he failed in talking to Midnight earlier. Sorry, not Midnight. Night Eye earlier. It's like he has failed in that regard. Opinion on Chaco's look when getting the acceptance letter? Not too many. The pacing makes it awkward for Izuku to pull a 180. Even though we've seen it happen before with like Todoroki. Oh yeah, Prower, I'm almost done. It's because we were listening to this thing. If I was in the dorms, I would bring comedy among the girls like Seiro and Kaminari do with the boys, and I would divide the girls into 2 alpha female groups, not on purpose. It can work, but going to depend on execution. And I do wish Horikoshi wasn't trying so hard to end Hero Academia. It's okay to like space things out and shift focus and explore ideas. I agree, Seth. I want more exploration instead of just being so laser focused on the plot. As good as I think it is. The all alien is a reference to Jump Force. Ah, I see. The kids view Izuku as their equal. That's why they're able to stand against him. What other franchises do you believe My Hero Academia is like? Oh, I don't really have. I don't really know that comparison, Robert. He doesn't view him as someone trying to be apologetic. They don't view him as someone to protect or be apologetic. Okay, gotcha. Agree. Horikoshi can do so much with his story because of how he structures the narrative. See, props to the author for an engaging story that's actually interesting to talk about. Don't know why, but I'm picturing Todoroki freezing Izuku in place. Yeah, that could work, Kayla. The panels of Ochako with the made me think she's getting closer to her answer. I mean, yeah, like Ochako asked the questions. Who helps heroes when they're hurting? Oh, quite simple. It's the guy tearing up the letter saying we're going after him. We're going to go after that punk. I know him best. Like the answer pretty much is friends and family. No, I found that fun. Like, oh man, Ochako, please. I hope you have an internal monologue about what you saw Bakugo do. Like, I hope she takes away from that. It's Bakugo. Bakugo. like the fact of the matter that Bakugo's the one doing it. Yeah, good night, Leela. Oh man, Ochako, you're so lovely. Guys, I'm gonna call it in 5 minutes. So, any last minute thoughts you want to throw in there? This was really good, Viz. Thank you for telling us about this. That was pretty worthwhile. For this one, I think Ocean's had like good points. Zenrato just like, okay, like I just disagree more with Zenrato. I think we all do. Ocean's was a lot more reasonable. I think Ocean's could do a lot more to probably reel Zenrato in. Because Oceans kept trying to be reasonable about this, but Zenrato kept talking about the image. I think Oceans could just reel him in a little bit. But then again, it's just a conversation between friends. It doesn't really need to do that. What if the person has no family nor friends, aka villains? Well, yeah, well, actually, I want to know what Ochako's going to... I hope Ochako comes up with the questions, what do we do when villains are suffering? Because that's more interesting. Yeah, again, adults should rein in kids regardless of how emotionally satisfied the kids would be. We're stuck in Shonen Jump though, so emotional is going to be the order of the day. Agreed, Seth. Like, yeah, again, like I said it. Like, I'm arguing about teenage empowerment in a teenage empowerment manga, right? Not going to do it. Did you mention the guys the thing about Ibara getting censored? Oh no, Mega. I didn't really mention it to the people here. I don't particularly care because I don't really care about the dub all that much. Like, things get censored all the time. I mean, things get censored in Japan, right? It's just never been an issue for me. I really think it's more of an issue of just they didn't have the time to say the full word. But yeah, just to like what Mega Green Kirby is talking about, like just in the dub, they took out Ibara's move with crucifixion. They just omitted that and just kept Shield of Faith or whatever. That's what Mega Green Kirby's talking about. I'm still trying to see where Bakugo stands when it comes to Izuku. I know he cares about Izuku, but to what extent? Not including... Oh, no, Bakugo's friends with Izuku. Like, Bakugo sees Izuku as his friend and rival. Like, they're friends. Like, Bakugo is doing everything because he's concerned about Izuku. And, yeah, really enjoy your breakdown thoughts when it comes to Hero Academia. Okay, good. Yeah, Viz, I'm glad that you guys enjoy it enough to, like, watch along with me. Because, like, otherwise, these kind of discussions, like, if I was a viewer, I would be watching them more often. But nowadays, I'm, like, swamped between work and then YouTube videos. I don't really get to watch people anymore. So it's nice when I can overlap it with a live stream or something like that. Bakugo Shoto Ira combo to Mirror Stain, which catches Izuku off guard. That'd be neat. That'd be neat. Okay, guys, 3 minutes. I'm calling it in 3 minutes. But otherwise, I think we're pretty solid here. Overall, though, I think, I do think I enjoyed this one more than I did the last one that we watched together. It's like how Tokoyami and Kuroi's moves are changed from black to dark. Oh, great, Seth. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And yeah, Viz, like if you ever, and also to Leela, because I know Leela was suggesting that other person's video. If you guys ever want to suggest videos or analysis that we can watch, not like videos anymore, just like any Hero Academia analysis or any kind of analysis in general. If you suggest those things, I don't mind watching them together or anything like that. Let's see. Okay, 2 minutes left. I'm going to start saying the good nights. I want to see Toga run into Izuku sometime after the Class 1A fight. Yeah, Kayla. I think Ty wants to see that too. So good night to Jason. Good night to Kayla. Good night to Seth. Good night to Ty. Good night to Matt. Good night to Viz. I wonder how powerful will Tokoyami be at night once he controls his quirks at night. Oh man, just amazing. He's going to be amazing. Good night to Prower. Good night to Miguel. And Miguel, thank you so much for the points you brought in. You know, I was pretty stubborn, Miguel, but I did take your points into consideration. I think you do bring up good points. I think at the end of the day, it's just a difference in perspective. Good night to Gohan. Good night to Leela. I think I got that. Good night to White Despair, most likely. Good night to Mega Green Kirby. Oh, no, Mega, not yet. I bet the conflict will last 2 to 3 chapters. I'd be pretty happy if it goes away faster, though, personally. Good night to Mark. Good night to AN683. Gonna drop a Twitter rant about Class 1A battle tactics. Oh, excellent. And, yeah. Oh, and good night to Sar. So, guys, thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. If Sarge is still there, Sarge, I hope you get better. And, till next time. Oh, good night to Robert as well. Ending the stream in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Till next time.